They huddle together, and well they might, James Perch, because it's freezing, it's wet, it's windy. I mean, the rain has been absolutely unrelenting all day thanks to Storm Dara here. It's not going to be ideal conditions out there.
No, not perfect, but it's not the worst. The wind hopefully gets blocked out by this massive stadium, and the surface will be slick, and hopefully we can get some good entertaining football today.
To see what happens, it is going to be Forest who kick us off in that all sky blue kit. Manchester United with 4 changes today. There's a debut for Lenny Yoro, the young French central defender, 19 years of age, 52 million quid at the age of 19. So he's in the starting lineup. And I'm just looking at Manchester United. At the moment, they're shaping up with a back 4. Don't think that's going to be the way they play. It's not the way Ruben Amorim normally plays. Diogo Dalot at the moment looking more like a left back than a left wing back. Referee Darren England is just saying we can't kick off yet because one of the training cones is still on the pitch. He's only just on the pitch, I think, and Dalot goes across to 2 of them actually, just kick those off the pitch, and that means we can now get going. Andre Onana in goal, Lenny Yoro, Matthijs de Ligt and Lisandro Martinez, the back 3 we think. For Manchester United, Ahmad and Diogo Dalot the wing backs, with Kobbie Mainoo and Manuel Ugarte in midfield, Bruno Fernandes and Alejandro Garnacho in behind, Rasmus Højlund up front. And a strong bench, which I'll go through in just a moment, because straight away United are coming forward, but across gets Murillo, and then Nico Williams turns it away from Ahmad, and Anderson swings a long ball forward down the right hand side. He's looking for Jota Silva. Dalot gets there first, and it flicks off Jota, and that means it hasn't gone out of play, and Ola Aina wins it up against Garnacho. Away on the far side, the Forest right, as Forest play from right to left in the first half. Ola Aina's on a great run here. He's left 3 and 4, and now tucks it to his right for Morgan Gibbs-White. Gives it back to Ola Aina. Surging run that through the heart of United's midfield. Now here's Gibbs-White down the right flank, and that's flicked off Dalot, and Forest end up with a corner at the end of the first minute.
Good start, very good start. Great run from Aina there. Ran straight through the heart of Manchester United, and to get a corner this early on, it's just a great start for Forest. Hopefully we can make this count.
See what happens from the corner then, which is going to be taken from the right hand side by Elliot Anderson. Right-footed, so an out-swinging corner to come. United with everybody back inside the penalty area. In it comes, and header by Milenkovic is in! 90 seconds in! Nikola Milenkovic scores his first Forest goal. Corner from Elliot Anderson, and Milenkovic 6 yards out with a bullet header. Fired it past Onana, who never even moved. And Forest, just like they did here last year, have the perfect start. Last year they couldn't find the perfect end. Can they go on from this? Perfect platform. Nikola Milenkovic, his first goal for the club, and Forest, all in sky blue, have made a perfect start on the red side of Manchester. 1-0 to Forest.
What a start, what a header. You look at there, Martinez he's not even looking to head the ball. And Milenkovic just manhandled him, and he's braver, he's stronger than him, and he just wanted it more, and it's a great ball from Anderson, and wow, Forest 1-0 up after 2 minutes away at Manchester United. Brilliant.
Great start. You can hear what the Forest fans make of it. They are very much singing the name of the head coach just at the moment. And Forest in front, but that's a mistake from Ola Aina. He's given the ball away to Fernandes, who's run to the edge of the box, and now Garnacho with a cross just over the head of Rasmus Højlund, who would have had the simplest of headed tap-ins almost. It's Ahmad now who rolls it back to 30 yards out, and Ugarte, and he switches it across to the left-hand side, and now United slow things down as Forest get a little bit of shape and get men back behind the ball. This is Lisandro Martinez, and he turns it back into the centre circle for Matthijs de Ligt, and he gives it to Lenny Yoro, who tucks it back for de Ligt once more. Great start for Forest here on Match Night from BBC Radio Nottingham, with Nikola Milenkovic heading in Elliot Anderson's corner, 6 yards out. And United have the ball just inside their own half. Work down the left-hand side. Early ball forward towards Højlund. Rasmus Højlund controls inside left channel. Milenkovic gets across and stabs it away from him, and then Jota Silva away to Ola Aina, who tries to control it as it's dropping over his shoulder, but kind of controls it into his chest, and out it goes off him for a Manchester United throw. These are important minutes, James Perch, after you've just taken the lead.
Yeah, once you've just taken the lead, you need to just be solid at the back, and obviously a mistake from Aina there, heading it through for them. We've got the joy of having the telly here with the replay. I don't know how Højlund hasn't headed it in. It's almost like he's ducked.
Yeah, it seemed to be perfect height for him.
Yeah, but yeah, Forest need to just stay strong now for the next 5 or 10 minutes and just don't concede any chances.
Ahmad down the right hand side, stabs it through looking for Bruno Fernandes. Nico Williams with an interception, turns it away for a throw to Manchester United in front of the Forest fans. Bruno takes it and gets it back again, and now has it back inside the penalty area, rolls it back to the edge of the box. Kobbie Mainoo with the back heel, comes out now for Martinez. He gives it left hand side. This is Dalot back into the centre of the Forest half for Ugarte, and back it goes to halfway. And United fans didn't seem too happy about the fact it went back to halfway. And De Ligt, who has it again and turns it to his left for Martinez. 5 minutes played, 1-0 Forest, and it's Kobbie Mainoo now in possession for Manchester United. He's manhandled by Ryan Yates, and a free kick for United, which is wide on their left hand side. Don't think I'd even given you the United bench yet. Such has been the start to this game. United have worked the free kicks slowly back into their own half, and this is De Ligt midway inside his own half. The summer signing, £38.5 million from Bayern Munich. And now here's another one. Lenny Yoro turns it back to De Ligt once more. Walking pace from Manchester United at the moment, searching, probing for a gap. Here's Martinez finding Manuel Ugarte, another summer signing, £42 million him. And now Ahmad for United, back into his own half for De Ligt, and he gives it to Lisandro Martinez once more. Martinez forward into the Forest half and plays it to his left for Diogo Dalot. Infield to Kobbie Mainoo, 30 yards out, back to Dalot. Right foot cross goes curling through the Forest 6-yard box and out for a goal kick. A little more danger, but nobody on the end of it from United. James Perch.
Now that United have done well the last 3 or 4 minutes, keeping the ball and looking dangerous in our final third, I think if Forest can just limit them and keep the ball going backwards and keep the ball with De Ligt at the back, like we heard earlier, the crowd will start to moan and groan when the ball's not going forward, and that'll just suit Forest and play into Forest's hands a little bit.
Yeah, they really were not happy about that, going back from halfway inside the Forest half to halfway to keep possession. But 1-0 it remains to Forest. They're on the home of live Nottinghamshire sport. The weather, as you know, horrible. The rain driving down still, and has been all day here in Manchester. Pitch has 1 or 2 marks on it where it's starting to cut up a little bit, but nothing too serious despite that all-day rain. Neat link-up play now between Anderson and Gibbs-White for Forest as they work it forward down the right-hand side once more. Hooked away by Dalot, not very far. Yates wins the header. Gibbs-White brings it down on his chest and works it left-hand side looking for Hudson-Odoi. Only half cleared, and then down goes Elliot Anderson in a challenge with Bruno Fernandes. Referee waves play on. It's forward to Højlund on halfway. Højlund takes it away towards the left wing, where he then runs into Jota Silva. It's a good challenge. I don't think he realised Jota Silva was coming back to track him on the blind side, and he turns straight into him. And here's Yates running through the middle of his own half. He's surrounded by 4 and in the end loses out. And United work it back to halfway with Martinez, and he gives it now to Kobbie Mainoo. Mainu 10 yards inside the Forest half, turns it back to halfway. Here's Martinez once more, giving it to Mainu again, left of centre. Little ball infield to Garnacho, and Garnacho bustles his way forward before laying it off to Dalot down the left-hand side. Back it comes for Martinez, and all the way back into the centre circle again for De Ligt. And now Lenny Yoro forward towards Bruno Fernandes. Now Ahmad down the right wing, cutting inside, trying to get away from Nico Williams, gives it to Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes with the cross, Ola Aina with the back post volleyed clearance, comes back out towards this Forest left wing. Hudson-Odoi can't keep it in play. Throw to Manchester United, level with the edge of the Forest box. Fernandes to take, infield to Kobbie Mainoo, and Forest have plenty back but can't get it away completely. Ugarte picks it up again and he rolls it square to Dalot to shoot from 25 yards, and it curls away and wide, and it's another goal kick. But since Forest went in front inside 90 seconds, the next 8.5 minutes, James Perch, have pretty much belonged to Manchester United.
Yeah, and that's what you'd expect coming away from home, but Nuno will be delighted that he's got something to hold on to at least. What I have noticed is that Hudson-Odoi and Jota are going to have to do a lot of defensive work today, because Ahmad goes high, Bruno goes high, and they try and outnumber our fullback, so it's going to be a proper shift for our two wide men today.
It's great play by Nico Williams. Now Anderson with the ball forward down the left wing, but it just goes too far ahead of Hudson-Odoi. And that's out for a throw to Manchester United, which is going to be about level with the edge of their own penalty area, I think, by the time Ahmad's been told he's got to keep going back. And they've worked it to De Ligt, and he turns it back to Andre Onana, a Cameroon international. And now they work it down the left-hand side, Manchester United. The ball infield to Kobbie Mainoo on halfway. He gives it to Ugarte. You can hear the unrest, even though a little bit. Fans thought they were maybe slow to get it going forward, but here's Ahmad down the right-hand side, lays it back for Bruno to shoot. Wide of the target from the right edge of the penalty area. He's trying to pick out the far post, but he's got his angles wrong, and it curls away well wide of Matsel's right-hand post and out for a goal kick. But United, hard to believe the reaction of the crowd then as they were coming forward, and just because they were maybe a little slower than some in the crowd wanted them to break forward, they've ended up with a shot on goal.
But you know, as a player coming against that, I used to love it.
Great.
Oh, it's brilliant. You just want to frustrate them, and when you do hear them boos, it gives you a little boost.
Here's Yates, who's facing his own half and has to go back into his own half, and out to the edge of his penalty area comes Sells to get it away to halfway. It's all a little bit messy, that, from a Forest perspective, a little bit ugly. There's Ugarte for United, square to Kobbie Mainoo, midway inside the Forest half, going left-hand side, but now checks out and goes backwards again for Martinez. And back to halfway it goes for De Ligt, and Martinez out to the left-hand side. Leaves it now for Kobbie Mainoo. The ball infield for Garnacho. Now Dalot linking up with Garnacho again down that left wing. Garnacho is taking on Ola Aina. Aina gets back in front of him and then goes to ground and still manages to get up and stop the ball going out for a corner. But as he finds Jota, Jota's outdone by Diogo Dalot, and then Kobbie Mainoo is shoved by Jota, and it'll be a free kick for Manchester United, which is pretty much right on the byline and a couple of yards outside the left edge of Forest penalty area. It's like a corner at the edge of the penalty area, really.
Yeah, soft free kick there. I didn't even know if it was a foul. But in that sequence of play, you've got, because Dalot goes so high, Jota's got to follow him. Jota's almost playing like a right back. Aina's inside him, matching Garnacho. So the bodies they commit forward makes our defenders go back in numbers. So it's almost like a 5 or a 6 at the back for Forest. But as long as we're disciplined and keep them out, then we'll keep frustrating them.
Real danger here for Forest. It's about a yard from the byline and just outside the penalty area. Bruno Fernandes rolls it back for Ahmad to shoot. He was in space, his shot is blocked, then a looping header is tipped over the crossbar by Matt Sells from Martinez. And there are 3 players, 2 Forest, 1 Manchester United, down inside the net. And worries about head injuries. 2 of them are back up. The only one who's still down, I think, is Milenkovic. Fernandez rolled it back to Ahmad, who had a lot of space to fire in his shot. The shot was blocked, spun up in the air and away towards the back edge of the 6-yard box, where a looping header from Lisandro Martinez went almost over the head of Matt Sells, but Sells got something on it to tip it away for a corner to Manchester United, which is taken now in towards the near post and easily cleared by Nico Williams. United, though, have kept it in play again down the far side, the left, and it's worked back to halfway for Ugarte to chip it across to the right hand side now, near side to us for Ahmad, and he rolls it back into the centre circle for Martinez. Now here's Bruno Fernandes down the left wing. Dalot infield to Fernandes again, 1-2 with Garnacho. Yates gets a good tackle in, and then Fernandes fouls him to try and win it back, and Fernandes, of course, will argue with referee Darren England, and Forest will get themselves a free kick and a little bit of a breather. Yeah, these little breathers here, this is what they need when you're defending this intensely for such big periods. When it does break down like this, they just need to have a little breather. Try and get a few passes in if they can. I know it's hard, but try and get 3 or 4 passes in and show a bit of composure, just to have that little breather that you need. Milenkovic clears towards Jota Silva down the right hand side. He wins the header, trying to head it on towards Chris Wood, but blocked by Dalot. Yates getting a foot in, but Kobbie Mainoo sidesteps, and then United move it quickly through Fernandes to Ahmad. He shows a little bit too much of it though to Williams. Williams wins it for Forest, but he's going back towards his own corner flag, and then Ahmad just catches him, and just like everybody does in the game these days, he goes down having felt the contact as Nico Williams, and the home fans don't like it, but referee Darren England says that'll be a free kick, and guess who's in his face? Bruno Fernandes. That won't be the last time this afternoon. They're the frustrating ones. You get them all the time as a defender, but you know, when you're as an attacker trying to win that ball back and the defender goes down so easy, it's so frustrating. So I can see why Bruno's getting mad, but he gets mad at everything. He'd do exactly the same thing in exactly the same position. Yeah. 16 minutes played and Forest are leading by 1-0 here at Old Trafford. Nikola Milenkovic scored in the 2nd minute. Wood now has fouled De Ligt in an aerial challenge, and it'll be a free kick which Manchester United have taken short and quickly. And this is Martinez forward towards the Uruguay international, Manuel Ugarte. It's just a flick off the referee, so it'll be an uncontested drop ball. You may have been with us a little bit earlier on when Dave gave you the news about Mikel Antonio, the former Forest striker now at West Ham, of course. West Ham issuing a statement confirming that he'd been in a road traffic accident and sending all their love and prayers. They've updated that statement now. They say Mikel is conscious and communicating and is currently under close supervision at a central London hospital. So I'll just repeat what David Jackson said earlier. We send our thoughts and best wishes to Mikel Antonio and his family and friends. 17 played at Old Trafford. United move it quickly through Bruno Fernandes to Manuel Ugarte, who then slides it through for Garnacho, and it's well saved by Sells, but the rebound is put in by Rasmus Højlund. Manchester United sliced through Forest with one-touch football. Garnacho was sent through, Sells saved well, but he couldn't keep hold of it, and the parry fell straight to Rasmus Højlund, and Højlund scores his 2nd Premier League goal and his 6th of the season altogether, and gets Manchester United on terms after 18 minutes. It's a very slick move through Bruno Fernandes to Manuel Ugarte, and his ball through the inside left channel picked out Garnacho, and Garnacho saw his shot saved as Sells came out to close him down. And perhaps fortuitously for Manchester United, it fell straight to Højlund, and it's a 6-yard tap in, 1-1. It looked so easy for Man U there to get through, but Forest are in a compact shape, but it's good, very good work from Man United there. The one-touch stuff from Bruno Fernandes there, but here's Gibbs White 25 yards out the other way, turns and tries to give it to Hudson-Odoi, but it's blocked. It's sent forward again by Milenkovic, and again they look for Hudson-Odoi, but again it's blocked. I'm not sure Callum Hudson-Odoi's had a touch of the ball yet, certainly not in an attacking sense. But Onana now clears, rather slices that, and it's going to go straight out of play. Yeah, it was neat one-touch football, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's like Forest are back in shape, but they got through still, and that's, I think sometimes you have to give them credit for doing it in one touch.
Here comes Forest. Gibbs White tries to nod it down to Elliot Anderson, but just runs away from him, and Garnacho takes it away and then gets the return ball left hand side. United midway inside their own half. Martinez now clears to halfway. Milenkovic wins the header against Rasmus Højlund. Kobbie Mainoo brings it down nicely against Elliot Anderson though, and now it's with Diogo Dalot on halfway. Manchester United 1, Forest 1. 19 minutes played here at Old Trafford in awful conditions. Don't think down at pitch level it's too windy. The flags, the corner flags are not really moving too much. It suggests a lot of the wind is being blocked out, but it's torrential rain still. As the ball is back on halfway with De Ligt, and he turns it to his right for Leny Yoro. Just to the right of the centre circle. Stands on it a bit. Forest in their defensive shape. Ruben Amorim jumping up and down at the edge of his technical area, not too happy with something. And the ball is back again with Matthijs De Ligt, the Dutch international, who walks forward into the centre circle and stops and lays it off to his right for Leny Yoro, and he gives it back again to Andre Onana. Just at the moment, like Forest are just quite happy to let United have it up to halfway. Long ball from De Ligt this time to Amad down the right hand side, and he links up with Bruno Fernandes again down that right flank. Amad now running towards the penalty area, checks and then is caught as he's checking back by Elliot Anderson. Anderson forward towards Hudson-Odoi, who's challenged by Ugarte. And that's going to be a Forest throw midway inside their own half. Bruno Fernandes is arguing, suggesting it should be a United throw.
He's a baby, isn't he? He is, isn't he? Hot. Standing. Can I say that?
I mean,
he's a baby.
He's a wonderful footballer, but that side to him is infuriating. Here's Hudson-Odoi carrying it forward and rolling it across the United half now for Yates, who moves it quickly for Jota, right hand side. He links up with Ola Aina. Now Jota infield to Yates again, moves it back to Jota. Jota tries to feed it through to Gibbs White, took a deflection, but Gibbs White still cushions the ball back to Milenkovic, and then Elliot Anderson has to turn it back deep into his own half for Matt Sells, who'll consider himself a bit unfortunate. It was a good save coming out quickly to the feet almost of Garnacho and making the block, but just saw the rebound fall straight to the feet of Rasmus Højlund, and the Dane tucking it in. Not the most difficult goal that the £72 million man will ever score. And a throw for Manchester United on the far side. Jota Silva though steps in and dispossesses Kobbie Mainoo. It's a bit unfortunate to see it fall to Martinez, who turns it back to Onana, and then Leny Yoro out to the right hand side for Amad. The ball in field to Ugarte, and now here's Lisandro Martinez, Argentine World Cup winner, chips it forward, and Diogo Dalot's made the run, which has stretched Forest, pulls it back towards Højlund, and he can't take it in his stride, and it's cleared by Jota Silva, and now Forest go on the counter. This is Ola Aina, and it's 4 against 4 at the moment. Aina down the right hand side, still making tracks into the United half, tries to play it in behind Martinez to Gibbs White. Gibbs White gets to it, gets a shove and goes down, and the referee says goal kick.
That's surely
it's a two-handed shove, isn't it?
A similar shove to what Jota did to Kobbie Mainoo.
Yeah, over in that far corner, in virtually the same part of the pitch at the other end. Don't see much difference in those, but we are at Old Trafford. 23 gone. Chris Wood was across making a very similar point to that. To Darren England, the referee, just made the motion of pushing with two hands, did Chris Wood. Here's De Ligt with the ball away towards the left-hand side, but overhits that over the head of Diogo Dalot. And it'll be a throw for Forest on the far side, 15 yards inside the Forest half. Ola Aina to take, 24 played. Chris Wood manhandled by Lisandro Martinez as the ball goes over the heads of both of them. And now Jota Silva has gone down. He's in between two Manchester United players. There's no suggestion of a foul or anything, but the referee is just going across just to check he's okay. Got a blow to the mouth, I think, did Jota, and he's showing the referee that he's bleeding from his mouth. He's sort of in between De Ligt and Dalot. He's taken a stray elbow from De Ligt, who had his back to him, and I don't think there'll be any action taken against De Ligt. I think they'll say it was just an accidental stray elbow. Certainly caught him. Yeah,
he caught him. It wasn't intentional, but just the nasty one that De Ligt didn't know was there.
He's okay. He's Jota. I'm surprised he hasn't had to get treatment, but the referee's quite happy. I guess the cut sort of inside his mouth rather than bleeding down his shirt or anything like that. And United play it back to their goalkeeper Onana once again. 25 gone. Rain sweeping down still. And it's 1-1. Nikola Milenkovic with his first Forest goal in a minute and a half. Elliot Anderson's corner, which had been won after a very good run from Ola Aina, bursting through the United half. And then Anderson's corner headed in 6 yards out powerfully by Milenkovic. Now Chris Wood is brought down by Manuel Ugarte, and it'll be a free kick for Forest, which is only about 15 yards inside the United half to the left of centre. Murillo is the man who's striding forward. Occurs to me the weather is most un-Brazilian for Murillo tonight. And he's going to take this free kick. Line of Manchester United defenders across the edge of their penalty area. It's gone back post towards Milenkovic. It's headed back across the face of goal and headed off the crossbar. Forest so close to a second goal as it was nodded across towards the back post. Nodded back across the face of goal. I think it was Jota who got his head to it, and at one stage that looked like it was sailing into the top corner, but the crossbar in the way just didn't quite dip enough from Jota's header. It's a really good header against Bruno Fernandes and rattles the United crossbar. It remains 1-1.
It's a great header, but this just shows how vulnerable Man U are at set pieces against, and if I was Forest, every set piece I'd got, I'd put it in the box, because like we saw the other day against Arsenal, they conceded two there, they conceded one today against Forest, so I'll just keep putting it in the box whenever I've got a chance.
Yeah, scored from one, and I've almost now scored from another. It's probably there are only two, I would think. That's the two set pieces that Forest have had so far into the United penalty area. And on both occasions, they've certainly been first to the ball. Jota Silva this time denied by the woodwork. And indeed, of course, on this occasion, that was the second header. They'd also won the first header at the back post. Here's Ugarte, though, through midfield again. This is where Manchester United have been dangerous so far. They found Dalot down the left-hand side, corner of the Forest penalty area. Lays it now for Garnacho. Garnacho runs back in towards the middle of the Forest half. And now it goes wide left again. Kobbie Mainoo to Diogo Dalot. Down the line towards Garnacho. And Garnacho tries to turn away from Ryan Yates. Yates turns to shield the ball away from him. Garnacho runs into the back of Yates and the free kick is given. How on earth is that more of a free kick than what Martinez did to Gibbs White at the other end of the pitch 2 minutes ago? It's extraordinary.
I can't believe he's given it, honestly. That is unbelievable. Where can Yates go? He can't go anywhere. I know it looks like he's blocked him off, but
he's just turned. Garnacho's tried to knock the ball past him. He's turned.
He's ran into him.
And Garnacho runs into the back of him. Absolutely extraordinary. Not the first time that we've seen rather strange decisions at Old Trafford. You only have to go back to last season to find a couple more. Free kick then for Manchester United, again just outside the Forest penalty area, a couple of yards up from the byline, left hand side, Bruno Fernandes standing over it. Score is 1-1 and we're in the 30th minute. Fernandes, it's from the left hand side, right foot, chip back post and headed away at that back post area and then further away by Elliot Anderson, who then gets a shove off the ball from De Ligt, but play goes on of course. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Left hand side, gives it Garnacho to cross. Milenkovic heads the ball away. Brought down by Kobbie Mainoo to Garnacho. Garnacho, oh, dear me. Dear. Garnacho goes down. Free kick is given against Jota Silva. Forest getting more and more annoyed about it. And Jota Silva gets booked.
Don't get me wrong, it's a slight shirt pull, but it's not enough to go down the way Garnacho did. And I don't think it's a yellow card either. It's the slightest of
Just seen an angle where it might be a little bit more than that. I mean, shirt tugs these days are just given as bookings, aren't they? It's a thing. Soft. If you tug somebody's shirt, then you get booked. And Jota Silva did, but my goodness, Garnacho went down like he'd been poleaxed again. Another free kick, level with the edge of the penalty area this time, and wide on United's left-hand side. Bruno Fernandes to take. United with a crowd of bodies at the back post area, 4 of them, plus Dalot waiting to make a late run, at the moment not marked. None of them are really. Forest zonal in their marking as United now make their runs. It's gone into the near post, and Elliot Anderson dives and heads it away behind for a corner, and it remains 1-1, and Bruno Fernandes going to take this corner as well. Rain seems to be getting heavier, if anything, swirling around.
Yeah, it's getting worse, isn't it?
Seems to be. Bruno Fernandes to take once again the corner this time. Again from United's left, right-footed, in-swinging. Doesn't beat the man at the near post, and the referee has given Forest a free kick because Ryan Yates has gone down at the near post. He was, he was absolutely rugby tackled out of it by Diogo Dalot. And even Darren England couldn't say no to that one. Free kick Forest. 2
poor corners there from in a row from Bruno Fernandes. The crowd just getting on his back a little bit because the quality is not quite there. But Forest hopefully can stay tight now till half time.
Matt Sells to take the free kick, which is pretty much a goal kick. And he clears right to left. 1-1 the score here at Old Trafford, and that's Chris Wood nodding it forward to Hudson-Odoi, and he gives it Jota Silva on the edge of the box. Jota Silva shoots, deflected, and that's going to be a corner. Really good play again from Forest. Wood down to Hudson-Odoi, Hudson-Odoi to Jota, and Jota right on the edge of the penalty area, flicked off the diving De Ligt, and out of play for a corner to Forest.
That's perfect play from Forest, because we've got 3 up there with Chris Wood being the focal point. Any ball that goes up to him, I fancy him to win it against any of them. And if Hudson-Odoi and Jota play narrow, we're almost 3 for 3 for any sort of knockdown, and that's just what happened there.
Elliot Anderson to take the corner in towards the near post. It goes right the way through to the back post. Jota gives it Murillo, and Murillo's first time shot goes just wide. United fans laughing because the Forest fans thought that was in. And it was only just wide from Murillo, went all the way to the back post and beyond, and then was retrieved by Jota. Little ball back towards the edge of the 6-yard box, which found Murillo, and he hit it first time. It was actually a little bit high up his shit, wasn't quite along the ground, so he had to side foot a volley towards goal, but only just wide.
Another set piece, another first contact that we've won, causing problems here from corners. They can't deal with it at all.
One apiece. Forest close on 3 occasions. As Jota hit the bar, Jota shot deflected over, and then the Murillo side foot just wide of the target. 11 minutes to go until half time on BBC Radio Nottingham's Match Night. At half time you'll hear reaction from Nigel Clough to Mansfield Town's defeat earlier today against Huddersfield Town in League One. There was no action for Notts County. Their game at home to Colchester today was postponed due to storm damage on one of the Meadow Lane scoreboards. It was deemed unsafe to have supporters in the ground due to loose panelling. Here's Onana clearing away down the left-hand side for United, but Diogo Dalot can't keep it in play. Good press from Forest, forcing the error. Hudson-Odoi it was, closing down Onana. And they'll have a throw, which Ola Aina is going to take. So he's going to go for the long throw, despite the swirling conditions. As I said, down at pitch level, don't think there's too much wind. Up under the floodlights, you can see the rain swirling all over the place, but...
I don't blame Aina here.
Yeah, stick it in.
Chuck it in there.
See if Forrest can... Oh, he didn't
so he
in the end. He went short to Anderson, but now he's got the opportunity maybe to cross. Now he goes backwards for Murillo. He's got the opportunity to play a ball inside to Elliot Anderson at the edge of the penalty area. His shot is deflected again, blocked really, and goes behind for another Forest corner. And Anderson across to take again. Couple of nice disguised passes this time when all of us were expecting them to get the ball in the box.
Yeah, Aina did us there from here. I thought he was going to launch it in there, but played it to Anderson, worked it well, and there's another set piece hopefully. Milenkovic up there, Murillo, Wood. We get first contact again.
Anderson to take the corner from the right hand side, so it's a right footed out swinging corner. 1-1 the score. 36 minutes played. In it goes towards the near post this time. It is headed away this time by United, but Forest pick it up again. Williams goes backwards to halfway to Ola Aina. He gives it to Anderson, and Anderson back for Aina again. Bruno Fernandes is quickly closing him down, has to go back to Sells. Sells clears long from right to left, and Chris Wood trying to get there, but De Ligt heads the ball away. Comes down in midfield though for Elliot Anderson, who's got yards of space all around him. He's not closed down. Lays it off to his left for Williams. He is closed down by Ahmad. Goes back to halfway for Murillo. He plays a ball to Jota, who's down the left wing at the moment. Jota, little ball infield to Nico Williams. He looks for Chris Wood, but it's stabbed away by Martinez. And then Bruno Fernandes steps away from Williams and pings a ball away towards the United left, but it's intercepted by Aina, and Forest break forward the other way. This is Gibbs-White for Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi down the right-hand side, lays it back towards Gibbs-White, and intercepted by Rasmus Højlund of all people, back defending for Manchester United, who now go the other way, and it's sent forward by Bruno Fernandes to Garnacho, who's wide left, and Forest get plenty back. Garnacho though lays it back to Bruno Fernandes, edge of the box, back to Garnacho it comes, and his shot is straight at Matt Sells. It remains 1-1, bit of basketball, end-to-end stuff.
Yeah, the thing is, we look good when we're in their final third, getting little passes. It's almost like we've beaten their press and they can't get back, and we're playing nice little passes, look a threat. But then when we do lose it, equally they look dangerous with Garnacho and Ahmad on the wings. So we just have to be a little bit careful there, and maybe be a little bit more patient in the build-up.
That's the voice of James Perch here on Match Night from BBC Radio Nottingham. And it's Manchester United 1, Forest 1. Yates catches Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes gets his free kick. So what's he arguing about now? Yates not being booked.
Yeah.
Free kick United, 15 yards inside the Forest half. And left of centre. Forest in front through Milenkovic's header after 90 seconds. United level on 18 minutes through Rasmus Højlund after a good one-touch move. Sliced Forest apart through the middle, but since then Forest have had plenty of opportunities. Jota's hit the crossbar, had a shot deflected over. Murillo went close. Now defending to do as Bruno Fernandes chips it towards the back post, and Matt Sells comes a long way and gets a hand to it to stop it going to Dalot. De Ligt though crosses, and that's headed away acrobatically by Yates. Really good header away from Yates, because the cross had gone beyond Matt Sells, and Yates had to make it, and did make it. United pick it up again on halfway though, as Forest try to break forward, and now Bruno Fernandes has it. Left hand side, midway inside the Forest half. Good tackle by Milenkovic. Oh, no way. Oh, what a tackle that was from Milenkovic, and somehow Manchester United have got a free kick out of it. Some of these decisions are unbelievable today. Milenkovic cannot believe it. He cannot believe his eyes. So really good tackle on Rasmus Højlund, and Højlund just goes down at the slightest of touches and gets a free kick. He's just stronger than him. He's stronger than him. He's won the ball.
He's tried to roll him. Milenkovic has read it, and he's got a toe to it and kicked the ball away. And Højlund's gone down, obviously, like he's been shot, and the referee's bought it.
Another chance for Manchester United from another free kick for Manchester United. Yeah, 5.5 minutes from half time. The referee just making absolutely certain that everybody in a Forest shirt is back 10 yards. There's a Forest wall. Somebody's down as a draft excluder as well. I think that's Elliot Anderson below the wall. Then there's a couple of men making a Manchester United wall as well. And it's Bruno Fernandes who takes and goes for the top corner and hits the crossbar. And it's headed away by Ola Aina. United hit the bar now, just like Forest had at the other end. Here's Bruno Fernandes again from the left wing, completely miskicking as he crosses. I think he kicked the turf, and Aina clears to Yates, and Yates now for Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi chips it forward towards Jota Silva. Manuel Ugarte gets back goal side of him and turns it all the way back to Onana. Jota goes and closes him down as well, but Onana clears to Lenny Yoro. 5 to go until the break. United close to going in front from a free kick they should never have had, of course.
It would have been so unjust if that would have gone in, especially with the deflection as well.
But it is 1-1 still at Old Trafford, and Andre Onana clears up towards halfway, but Milenkovic is there to win an easy header. And then Gibbs White tries to bring it down, but loses out to Ugarte, and he chips it forward, and Murillo is having to go back to lift it away from Garnacho, and then Ola Aina heads it back to Matt Sells, who was a little bit short. Sells was very quickly off his line and got there ahead of Garnacho.
Heart in mouth moment there from Aina. I knew he was going to do it. I just hoped he got enough contact on it, which he did in the end, but scary few seconds there.
Gibbs White turns and plays a good ball to Ryan Yates, but Yates, I don't think, got a call that Garnacho was behind him. Then Yates steps in to win it back again and gives it Gibbs White, and he feeds Jota Silva. Jota is away down the right hand side. United labouring to get back. Jota though, he himself then sort of stumbles a little bit on the ball. He's just had another long run. He's perhaps just run out of energy slightly, as Gibbs White plays it right wing for Ryan Yates, who keeps it in play and gives it to Jota again, level with the edge of the penalty area. Back to Yates, down the line to Jota once more. Jota is up against Dalot, who gets the challenge in, but Forest and Jota win a throw near the corner flag. Aina walks forward to go and take. 3 to go until the break.
Good play there from Forest, getting into United's territory there, and now we'll see if we've got Aina throwing a long ball in, or whether he's going to do us again and throw it short.
Nobody's short this time for him. So this one's going in towards the near post area. Yates, Milenkovic, Wood, all in that area. In it goes from Ola Aina, and it's actually gone too long. It actually goes out of play for a goal kick, straight from Ola Aina's throw. Doesn't happen too often, so you just wonder whether or not maybe the wind did get hold of it. Might be making excuses for Ola Aina. They just got too much on it this time. It sailed over the head of Yates and out for a goal kick. And it remains 1-1. With Milenkovic scoring early for Forest, Højlund equalising for Manchester United. Don't forget Forest next week playing at the same time as this, 5:30 at the City Ground next week for Aston Villa. That will be on BBC Radio Nottingham for you from 5:30 next Saturday at the end of a marathon. We're on air from 12, Salford Notts at 12:30, Charlton Mansfield at 3, and then Forest Villa at 5:30. Triple commentary for you, one after the other, from 12 o'clock till about 8:30 next Saturday. For now though, Forest level at 1 apiece at Old Trafford as Elliot Anderson slips, and then in steps Nico Williams and makes a really good challenge, and then Gibbs White wriggles away from 2 challenges and he's brought down, and Forest get a free kick.
See, the Nico Williams tackle there I thought was a foul.
More so than some of the others, perhaps.
And he didn't give it, so hopefully he's being a bit more lenient now. But see there, when Forest in the shape and they're letting Dillett have it, that's a much more better shape that I like to see, because Dillett doesn't know what to do with it and Forest look very compact and it looks like they can't get through us. When we go chasing, we're leaving big gaps, and that's when they play the one-touch stuff and get round us. So see if they can carry that on. Oh God.
Sells clears, Dillett gets his head to it. I'm not sure he meant to head it backwards towards Andre Onana. I think he was just stretching too much and couldn't quite get to where he wanted to get to, but it has gone safely back to Onana. And we're in the final few seconds at the end of the first half. 1-1 the score. Not only is it still teeming with rain, we're going to have 1 minute of added time at the end of this first half. He's perhaps a bit chilly as well and wants to get back in for a warm-up. I was about to say, not only is it swirling wind still, it's cold as well. Bitterly cold tonight. And it's Manchester United who have the ball. Here's De Ligt again, standing still.
It's a great shape. It's just frustrating United because Dillett doesn't know what to do with it. To be fair to him, he's not got much on, but as a Forest shape, they look so compact.
Garnacho goes to ground in a challenge with Yates. Free kick given. No argument this time from Ryan Yates, to be fair. United try and slide the free kick down the inside left channel, but it's intercepted by Jota. Now Gibbs White gives it to Ola Aina. He's well stopped by Bruno Fernandes, and then Gibbs White gets his challenge in as well, and that is half time. And the Forest fans are far more happy with what they've seen in that first 45 minutes than the Manchester United home fans. There's nothing more than a ripple of applause around the home sections. I think I might have heard 1 or 2 groans as well, but away to our right, good applause for Forest as the half-time whistle blew. It's 1-1 with Milenkovic having scored from Elliot Anderson's corner, a powerful header 6 yards out after only 90 seconds of the game. Rasmus Højlund equalised after 18 minutes with a good spell for Manchester United after falling behind, crowned by Højlund getting the equaliser. But then Forest hit back, had good spell of their own. Jota, he had a header which hit the crossbar. He had a shot which was deflected over from the edge of the penalty area, and then Murillo with a side foot volley which was just wide of the target. Manchester United given a succession of free kicks around the Forest penalty area, all of them soft, and from one of them Bruno Fernandes hit the crossbar via a deflection as well. So both sides have hit the bar, both sides have scored once. It's horrendous conditions out there. It's exciting stuff, James Perch.
Yeah, it's been a good half of football. I think the Forest fans, rightly so, have clapped the Forest players off there because they've put in a shift. They've seen what they've done defensively. They've seen what they've done offensively as well. They've caused Manchester United problems. Yeah, Manchester United have had a couple of chances themselves, but you expect that coming to Old Trafford. But Forest will go in there, and Nuno will be very happy with the way they've played.
What do you expect to happen second half? We talked about Manchester United's strong bench. I mean, they'll turn to that at some point, I guess. What do Forest need to either keep doing or do even better?
I think the last 5 or 10 minutes there, the defensive shape, if he stays with a 4 at the back, with leaving De Ligt on the ball, I think he'll look to do that even more. But I wouldn't be surprised if he did match them up and went 3 at the back, because they are causing problems when they do get through us. 3 at the back would combat that a lot easier. So I wouldn't be surprised if he did go 3 at the back.
Turn to Morato at some point.
Yeah.
We shall see what happens in the second half. Entertaining stuff though here at Old Trafford, with Forest in front through Nikola Milenkovic's first goal for the club. Rasmus Højlund equalising. Both sides have gone close since. At the break, Manchester United 1, Forest 1.
Colin Fray and James Perch, your commentary team on match day from BBC Radio Nottingham. This is David Jackson here. So 1-1 at the break. Both sides have hit the bar. Entertaining opening 45 minutes despite the conditions here. Second half on the way. Remember, all frequencies today: 103.8, 95.5 FM, digital radio and online, so on your smart speaker as well. So if you're anywhere in the UK, you can catch it online as well. Earlier, no Notts County. That game called off because of the weather and the impact on the scoreboard there, with a couple of panels from that hanging down after the wind damage overnight. Mansfield beaten. 5 defeats in a row now for the Stags in League One. You'll hear what manager Nigel Clough made of that shortly. A couple of big games for our non-league side today. In the FA Vars, Newark Town, heartbreaking defeat, 11-10 on penalties as they tried to get through to the fourth round for the first time in their history. But good news today for Baseford, a penalty shootout win for them over Halifax, 2 divisions higher than them in the non-league pyramid. This in the FA Trophy, that puts them through to the fourth round for the first time ever. Martin Carruthers is their manager. Thank you for joining us live on BBC Radio Nottingham, and I'm assuming, Martin, stepping away from some rather exuberant celebrations there.
Yes, I've just left the players' bar now. We're celebrating hard, and fully deserved. Delighted for everyone at the football club, and just unbelievable day and a fantastic achievement against a really good Halifax side.
I mean, it really is. You were 2-0 up at half-time. Before we get onto the drama of the penalty shootout, to be 2-0 up at half-time, what was going through your mind in that second half when a good side in Halifax, a couple of divisions higher than you, get back into it at 2-2?
Yeah, I mean, I said at half-time, I said, look, the first 15 minutes are crucial, game management, don't concede, and then we'll have a real chance, I said, because they're going to come out, they're going to step it up, and we have a short corner. 2 minutes into the second half, create a great chance, didn't score, they got the other end, and it's 2-1. Before you know it, it's 2-2, and you think, we're going to get beat, 4-5, 5-2 now, because they were moving the ball really well, and we were really struggling, but made some subs, and we hung in there, and the drama of a penalty shootout, and we held our nerve.
Yeah, what about the conditions? Because it's been awful today, absolutely awful, hasn't it? Wind and rain and swirling and everything else. How much did that impact on things for you today?
To be honest, it had a massive impact. I said to the lads before the game, this is a leveller. We know they're a really good footballing side. They're full time, and we're just going to defend deep and have a good shape and be patient and try and catch them on the counter attack. And it worked a treat. And like I said to you, the conditions, the rain, the wind, it's a leveller, and it gave us a fighting chance. If that's a normal day on normal conditions, we probably get beat 9 times out of 10. But yeah, it's thinking, tomorrow, and looking forward to the draw. I think it's on Monday.
Yeah, Monday afternoon at 3 o'clock. What does this mean to your club? I mean, it's the first time in Baseford's history to get this far. So what does it mean to you and everyone there to be on this run at the moment?
It's unbelievable. We've had a lot of injury problems. We've been patched up. Lads away. It's been difficult, and I changed the team before kick-off today. Right back playing at left back. I'm just delighted for the chairman. I was at Baseford a few years ago, and we made history a few years ago getting Chesterfield away in the third round, which is a great occasion. But to make history again is just it's phenomenal. It's a great day for the club, a great day for Chris Munro, and a great day for everyone. And I just want to say that one of our former players, Mark Brooks, he unfortunately took his life yesterday. So we told the lads before the game, and they responded, and that's for him today.
Wow, sorry to hear that. It's awful, awful news. Tell me about the penalty shootout. Tell me about the drama at the end of that, because you've had the 90 minutes against a good side. You feel like you might have gone on to lose it. You've got yourselves into a penalty shootout. Talk to me about the drama of that and the release of emotion at the end when you won the game.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we've had a couple of penalty shootouts already, this season, and we've scored every penalty. We've not missed one yet. I'm nervous, and Soldini, who's normally our regular goalkeeper, we left out today for young Harvey Woodward, who was magnificent. And I was debating whether to bring Sol on for the penalty shootout, and I didn't. I resisted, but to be fair, all 9 penalties were superb. And I said to the lads on the bench, I said, the only way someone loses this game today is somebody missing a target or putting it over the bar, and their last lad, blasted it over the bar. And to be fair, I said to a couple of lads in the bar after the game, I said, I didn't fancy you, but yeah, they handled the pressure, they finished with aplomb, and I couldn't be more proud.
Fantastic. Get yourself back to the celebrations, Martin. Thank you very much indeed. Martin Carruthers with us live on BBC Radio Nottingham. Basford through to the 4th round of the FA Trophy for the first time in their history. As I mentioned a moment ago, Mansfield beaten, 5 defeats in a row for them now in League One. They've had some tough games in that spell, like today at home against Huddersfield, beaten 2-1. The manager Nigel Clough's been speaking with Jake Garner.
Nigel, commiserations, a 5th straight defeat in the league, but is it another game where you felt you could have got more from it?
Without doubt. I'm going to sound like a broken record, people must get fed up with saying the same things. I thought general performance was very good today, despite the 2 goals we conceded, especially the second one, having got back on level terms, and then to go and concede again a couple of minutes later. But it was a quality finish, and considering the conditions today, I think credit to both sides for putting on a game that they did.
Yeah, it was a very good game of football, a good advert for League One, like you say, despite the conditions.
Proper game, absolutely horrific conditions, even standing up here now, but when you're actually down there on the pitch, you could see the ball moving all over the place. Both teams tried to get it down and play, and I thought it was some good quality play throughout the game.
Was it Huddersfield's quality that was the difference in the end?
Yeah, just with the 2 finishers, but then again, I think it's a break as well. We've hit the woodwork twice. I thought we should have had a good penalty of handball. I thought that maybe they had a good shout for something when Christy Pym came out and took the lad out. I'm not sure if it was in the penalty area or not, but it's certainly maybe close to a card. So I thought the referee missed that one, but also I'd say the other end it was a handball, which the assistant should have given. So we're not getting a break in the penalty area. I know I've said it in recent weeks, but we didn't get one again today, and ultimately we're so close again. I just said to the lads, it's the realities of Mansfield playing in League One against ex-Premier League clubs. Sometimes they'll have that bit of quality, but I thought the effort and everything and the way we tried to play today was spot on again, and we're going to keep doing it.
Yeah, and you nearly got that little bit of luck right at the end. It just hit the frame of the goal almost with the last touch of the game.
Yeah, we should have, again, similar to the other week against Bristol Rovers, we put one in and then it was deemed handball. We were at the underside of the bar. I think their lad just flicked it onto the bar and we haven't got it, it's dropped straight to their lad. That just seems to be the way it's going at the moment. But in terms of the effort that the players put in today, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it feels like the players can't do any more in terms of effort, that is for sure, isn't it?
They can't. The little things we have to, we keep saying it's always the little things. Bailey has to get a bit tight for the second goal. We have to react a bit quicker to the first one. They've hit us twice on the break almost. But they can't give any more. And everybody, the subs again, positive impact they had when they came on. And without doubt the highlight of the day is seeing Rhys Oates back on the pitch.
He nearly made an immediate impact, didn't he, bursting down that right hand side?
Brilliant, and we played him out there a couple of times last season, and he has a little bit more of an impact and an effect on the game sometimes wide, and straight away he can play the ball in between the centre half and the full back, and he's on the end of it. And there was one in particular I think we put across, and their centre half's got a toe, got under the trap into the goalkeeper's legs, and when it's your day they go in, it just hasn't been our day very often recently.
Yeah, I feel like you mentioned before, you say you feel like you sounded like a broken record. Again, we touched on the nearly moments in the game. There's a few of those today.
Definitely, the ball was bobbing around in the penalty area and everything. Aaron Lewis had a very good chance. Goldie made 2 good saves, but Aaron Lewis should put it on the floor. If it's on the deck, it goes in. So that's the little moments, things like that, and we get an equaliser. But I thought we were good value for at least a point today.
And In terms of the performance, you mentioned that you've got to keep playing that way despite 5 defeats in a row. How do you sort of keep the players' moods up after 5 defeats in a row? Because it can't be nice for them to sort of see that, but also try and maintain those levels of performance.
No, but we've explained the defeats have been against, first in the league, second in the league, Bolton, Huddersfield. The biggest disappointment was the Bristol Rovers one here, losing 1-0. We're playing against ex-Premier League sides, and we've just come out. They're so close and just come out on the wrong end of things, but very, very close in terms of the games and everything. You look at stats and that, things are probably in our favour again, so they've just got to keep believing and keep going, but as I say, it's the realities of us being in League One.
And you've got a week now with the players before you go to Charlton next Saturday. Obviously there's been a couple of Saturday, Tuesdays and a lot of travelling around. Is there going to be a sort of anything that you're going to focus on in training this week, or is it just a case of getting sort of players fit and ready for a trip to the Valley? Yeah,
we'll keep doing a bit of video analysis and things and looking back. We've got a game organised for Tuesday against Everton's under-21s, a reserve game at their training ground, Finch Farm. So all the lads who need a game will go up there, certainly Oatsy, Alfie Kilgore, George Williams, Callum MacDonald, people like that. I'll all have a run out for varying amounts of time, and then we'll get ready for Charlton on Saturday. Actually looking forward to it. Another big club, another big stadium that we're going to. So I'm very much looking forward to the game. I know we've lost 5 on the spin, but we're not going to. Yeah, we are down about it, but we're not going to get too down about it and start feeling sorry for ourselves. We're going to keep playing.
It looks as well like you're still learning in this league.
Yeah, the players are, because it's new to some of them. Glad Will got a goal today as well. His efforts have deserved it in recent games. But we're so close again, not just to getting a point, to winning the game as well. And it will come, it will change, it has to, as long as we keep doing the things that we're doing and just improve on the little moments in the games which are going against us.
Nigel Clough, the Mansfield manager, speaking with Jake Garner there. They have had some really tough fixtures of late in their defence. Away at Wrexham, away at Wycombe, who were in the midst of a run of 10 wins in a row at that point, away at Bolton, another top team, and then Huddersfield today, who have now lost 1 only of their last 12. So a tough run of fixtures, and in amongst that, they have won in the FA Cup away at Stevenage in the same division. But you think their form will turn. They're playing okay generally, certainly the games I've seen, but another defeat for them today and some work to do to turn that mood a bit. Right here at Old Trafford on BBC Radio Nottingham, just after 6:30, the Manchester United players are out. The Forest players are out as well, away to the left-hand side, so we're almost set for the second half. Reminder, you can hear this on your smart speaker. It's available online in the UK, also 103.8, 95.5 FM and digital radio. As I hand you to your commentary team on BBC Radio Nottingham, the former Forest man James Birch, and first here's Colin Frey.
Thanks, David. Manchester United, red shirts, white shorts and black socks, ready to kick off in the second half. Forest all in sky blue tonight, and no changes for either Ruben Amorim or Nuno at the start of the second half. So we're, as we were at the start of the first half, Forest with Sells in goal, Aina Milenkovic, Murillo and Williams across the back four, Yates and Anderson, the holding men in midfield, and then Jota, Gibbs-White and Hudson-Odoi behind Wood up front. The bench for Forest as Manchester United get us underway in the second half. 1-1 the score. Bench is Morato, Awonyi, Toffolo, Dominguez, Ward-Prowse, Elanga, Souza, Bolly and goalkeeper Miguel. And straight away United come forward with a cross from the left from Dallo, which is stabbed away by Milenkovic, but now Garnacho has it as United attack the Stretford end in this second half. Ugarte to the left-hand side for Dallo. Now Garnacho tries to keep the ball in play and can't. And it'll be a goal kick for Forest. Bit of an early, I was going to say scare, not so much scare, but early defensive duties to do for Forest in this second half, James Birch.
Yeah, it started like we did. We did that in the first half, got down into our defensive final third, and looked like they were going to cause a few problems, but Aina matched him and Garnacho ran it out of play, thankfully.
For United, Onana in goal, Yoro, De Ligt and Martinez are the back three. Ahmad, Mainu, Ugarte and Dallo, a line of four. And across midfield as Sells is put under pressure by Højlund and has to just put it out into touch for a United throw, which they've taken quickly. Fernandes and Garnacho then in support of Højlund up front for United. Here is Lenny Yoro on debut today. Infield to Kobbie Mainoo, goes back for Yoro again, and Yoro all the way back into his own half for De Ligt, who plays it square to Andre Onana, who'd come 3 or 4 yards outside his penalty area. Forest starting to press. Ball goes back to Onana, but he lays it off to his right for De Ligt. And so Chris Wood's pressing run is for naught, but that's given away by Bruno Fernandes to Hudson-Odoi. He lays it off to his right for Gibbs-White, top of the D. Yes! He scores! Morgan Gibbs-White scores for Forest, and just like they did in the first half, they've scored inside 2 minutes of the second half as well. Morgan Gibbs-White from the top of the D may have deflected because it was very close to Andre Onana, but he couldn't do anything to keep it out. Gibbs-White with the knee slide in front of the Forest fans away to our right-hand side. And as Milenkovic did in the first half, Gibbs-White has done from the second. A low skimming shot from the edge of the D after Bruno Fernandes had given the ball away. And it's Manchester United 1, Forest 2.
Great strike. Great. It came from like a defensive unit and the way they pressed. Chris Wood going high on Onana. Then Colin Hudson-Odoi on Lero. And then what makes it even better is it's Fernandes that makes a mistake. I don't know if that did take a deflection.
I don't think it did. I mean, it's curled slightly, but it's, I mean, Onana's just gone completely the wrong way.
Shocker.
I mean, it's literally half a yard to his left, and he's gone rightwards. And it's gone in, and it's not a deflection. That's extraordinary. I mean, it's a great strike from Gibbs-White, but pretty much if Onana stands up, he saves
Controls it. Yeah, keeper error, but it is a nice clean strike from Gibbs-White. But yeah, Onana should be saving that all day long. But like I said before, it was great work from the front three there, closing down. And yeah, Fernandes giving the ball away, costly.
Forest have it again with Ola Aina, and he's given a little shove by Garnacho. And so it'll be a free kick for Forest on halfway. So just as it was in the first half, perfect start, it is in the second half as well. Now what that did in the first half was brought a really good spell from Manchester United, but we'll see what happens in the second. Murillo's coming across to take this free kick. Remember I said in the first half it's distinctly un-Brazilian weather. Murillo's found a long sleeve shirt and gloves at half time.
And did you see him when the half time whistle went? He ran into the dressing room. He ran past everyone. He couldn't wait to get it on.
He's preparing to take this free kick then. 4 minutes into the second half, from halfway, drives it towards the back post area. It's headed by Agate but up in the air. Milenkovic nods it back down to Yates. He lofts it over the penalty area, but cleared nicely by Bruno Fernandes. Garnacho then loses out to Jota Silva, who plays it out into touch, and it'll be a throw for Manchester United. So Morgan Gibbs-White scores what is only his second goal of the season to get Forest back in front. Here though is Kobbie Mainoo running through midfield. He got away from the two Forest central midfielders, lays it off to the right hand side, and now the shot from Ahmad is curling but easy for Matt Sells to go down low to his right. It was pretty much straight at him, and Nuno now looking none too happy with how easy it was for Kobbie Mainoo to just slide through the Forest midfield.
Yeah, too easy there for Mainoo, but we got away with it there with Diallo putting in a weak effort, which Sells saved comfortably.
Oh, clever pass by Gibbs-White after Yates found him. It's Aina away down the right hand side, away from Dallo, fires it in low, back post, and touched just wide by Chris Wood. Wood hangs his head slightly. It was really fired at him by Ola Aina. It had to be to get all the way through to the back post. It did reach Chris Wood, 10 yards out, back stick, and his first time touch goes just wide.
Difficult chance because it's come through 4 or 5 bodies, 3 of Forest, 3 maybe of United, and Wood's the last one to see it. I think if it hits the target, it creeps in. I think it catches Onana out. Oh wow.
It's a lovely play again down the right hand side. It was Yates to Gibbs-White, Gibbs-White to Aina, and Aina's drilled ball in. Found Wood at the back post. Forest now try and work it out of their defensive left back zone, but it is a throw to Manchester United. Here's Ahmad now near the corner of the penalty area, finding Kobbie Mainoo just inside the box, and Mainoo is challenged by Yates, but it breaks for Hoyland. He's challenged as well as he's about to shoot, and it goes behind for what's been given as a corner. But Forest really angry with that decision as well from referee Darren England.
Corner.
Milenkovic can't believe that that's been given as a corner. Darren England right on the spot. And we're going to see a replay of it. But what Milenkovic is claiming is that it's just a horrible slice from Rasmus Hoyland, which I still can't really tell, to be honest, whether or not that flicked off Milenkovic. I think probably it did. So I think Darren England's got that one right. Here's the corner from Bruno Fernandes, right under the crossbar. Murillo got up with Sells, one of them got it away. And United go and retrieve 30 yards out, left-hand side. Garnacho tries to feed it into Bruno Fernandes, but overhits it, and it's out for a goal kick. 7 minutes played in the second half on Match Night from BBC Radio Nottingham. Manchester United 1, Forest 2.
See that frustration there that the crowd give out when Garnacho plays that out of play. All that is doing is feeding Forest to defend with their lives and frustrate them even more so. Like I said before, I love it when the away grounds get on the players' back, because it does give you that extra motivation to keep them out, and hopefully Forest can do that.
Matt Sells clears from left to right, but Diogo Dalot is there ahead of Chris Wood, and then he goes on a run himself to get on the end of the return ball down the left wing. Dalot takes on Ola Aina and fires over the cross, and that's headed away well by Nico Williams. Might come out though for Agate at the top of the D. He's being crowded out by Yates. It's a really good tackle by Yates. Of course, United wanted a free kick, nothing doing. Elliot Anderson curls the ball out to Jota. Jota well inside the United half, leaves it for Gibbs White. Gibbs White sidesteps his way away from Martinez, right wing, fires over the cross. De Ligt gets his head to it, heads it away towards the edge of the box, brought down brilliantly by Anderson. Jota gives it to Gibbs White again, wide right. He crosses back post for Chris Wood to head it across the face of goal and in. Wood scores. Forest are in front by 3 goals to 1. Chris Wood makes it double figures for the season, and Chris Wood becomes Forest's all-time leading Premier League goal scorer. A lovely cross from Morgan Gibbs White to the back post, and Wood from beyond the back post headed it back across the face of goal and inside the far post, and it's 3-1 to Forest in the 9th minute of the second half. Manchester United 1, Nottingham Forest 3. Wood's 10th of the season, and Wood is the all-time leading goal scorer at this level of football for Forest. 3-1.
Great header, great goal. When it went up to Wood there, he's done the right thing, headed it back across goal, but I'm thinking there's too many Man U players around it for it to go in. De Ligt let it go, and Arna's not done anything, and Lisandro Martinez has just watched it go in the back of the net. So it was a surprise to me when it went in. But we'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say, as it's looping across the face of goal, I'm looking at Onana's reaction and Martinez's reaction and thinking, well, they're just covering it as it goes wide.
That's what I was thinking. So I was so
they're just
surprised.
on hand in case they're needed, but it's just going to drift wide. Because neither of them seem to do anything to keep the ball out. Now Onana's given it away to Gibbs White, 20 yards out. Gibbs White into Jota, inside right channel, and across gets Agate to make the challenge, and Forest are going to have a corner. No, they're not. It's a goal kick given by Darren England. That's unfortunate. A double ricochet off Jota Silva. But again, Andre Onana just gave the ball away. So Onana has made an error for Gibbs White's goal. He's then one of 3 players really that have just stood and watched that go in, and then he's cleared it. I mean, his clearance is only 20 yards straight to Gibbs White.
I don't think it was a clear. I think he was trying to pass it, so he just passed it to Gibbs White. But now he's got, every time the ball goes back to him now, he's going to have the home crowd on his back, getting onto him, so it'll be even worse now. So hopefully Forest can use that and make it into our advantage.
Forest are leading at Manchester United by 3-1. Murillo finds a good ball to Hudson-Odoi, and Hudson-Odoi keeps it moving to Jota Silva down the right-hand side. He gives it back to Hudson-Odoi, rolls it infield to Gibbs-White. Gibbs-White away from Kobbie Mainoo, but in doing that, he's lost control of the ball to Manuel Ugarte. And Ugarte is urged forward by Manchester United supporters. Yates gets the challenge in. Ugarte goes down. Free kick is given. Taken quickly by De Ligt, square to Lenny Yoro. He gives it right hand side for Ahmad, 20 yards inside the Forest half. And then Elliot Anderson tries to get away from Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes goes down. I'm not sure there's much in that, but Fernandes obviously went down when he felt some contact.
He's all arms, isn't he? Every time he goes down, he's waving his arms around and wants our players to get booked.
Dallo with the cross, dangerously into the Forest box, headed away by Murillo. Comes out for Ugarte as Manchester United try and find their way back into this game. They trail 3-1 to Forest. Rashford ready to come on. Given away by Ahmad at the edge of the Forest penalty area. And Forest break again. This is Hudson-Odoi. Not many forward with him this time. Ugarte gets across, but Hudson-Odoi's beaten him and Lenny Yoro. And Hudson-Odoi away down the left-hand side. Now wants to wait for support as Yoro gets back to him and finds that support in the shape of Elliot Anderson. Now here's Nico Williams. He's 30 yards out. He drives one. De Ligt makes the block. It'll spin off to the left wing again for Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi's little ball forward to Anderson near the byline. Keeps it in play. Sends it across. Martinez heads it away. And Gibbs-White chested it down and then half volleyed, but it wouldn't come down quickly enough for him. It's over the crossbar and it remains 3-1 to Forest.
United are at 6s and 7s at the back. They don't know what they're doing when they're attacking. They're leaving the defenders on 3v3. They look all over the place, and with the crowd getting on the back now, they look even worse.
Marcus Rashford coming on to replace Alejandro Garnacho. Not to the most rapturous reception you'll ever hear. And Manchester United with a goal kick 13 minutes in to the second half, and it's United 1, Forest 3 here at Old Trafford. De Ligt for Martinez, halfway inside his own half, and back to De Ligt once again. And he plays a long ball forward looking for Rashford. Nico Williams underneath it to head it away. Be picked up though by Ahmad. And Ahmad is into the penalty area right hand side. Squares it back. Plenty of time for Ola Aina to send the ball forward towards Gibbs-White, who just stabs it into space in between two United players and then lays it back for Nico Williams. Forest playing with a confidence now here at Old Trafford. Gibbs-White has it again, forward to Hudson-Odoi. He lays it off for Williams on the left-hand side, just inside United's half. Rolls it across the halfway line for Gibbs-White, who again has found himself some space. He gives it to Elliot Anderson left side, and now left wing it goes for Hudson-Odoi. 25 yards out, Hudson-Odoi. Back infield to Gibbs-White once more. Gibbs-White now for Hudson-Odoi again, and back to Gibbs-White once more. Scorer of Forest's second goal, creator of the third. Now Gibbs-White has it again, lays it off to Hudson-Odoi, still left wing Forest. Elliot Anderson tucks it backwards for Murillo. Lovely little ball from Murillo back to Anderson, and then he angles one through to Wood. Inside left channel, tight angle across the face of goal and just wide. Flag went up. Eventually he was offside. Lovely football from Forest. Superb, patient build-up. Confident passing. Eventually they got Wood away. Couldn't find the target from a very tight angle, but was offside anyway.
Great play. That must have been a sequence of 15-20 passes there, all short and sharp. Man U couldn't get close. It looks like Forest are enjoying themselves out there, which they should be, because they're away at Old Trafford winning 3-1. And you can just see the confidence breathing through the group.
Ola Aina beats Diogo Dallo, and then Dallo fouls him, and Forest have a free kick 10 yards inside their own half in a right back position, and I think Aina's going to leave this for Nikola Milenkovic to come and take. An hour played on match night from BBC Radio Nottingham, and all the noise is coming from the Forest supporters away to our right hand side. Their team leads by 3-1. Up gets Chris Wood to try and win from the diagonal crossfield ball, but he hasn't done it, and then Bruno plays a lovely angled volley to Ahmad. Towards the edge of the penalty area goes Ahmad, and then turns, kind of leaves the ball behind, but stabs it back to Bruno Fernandes, who fires in from the edge into the penalty area. And Manchester United are right back in the game. 61 minutes played. It was brilliant in the first place from Bruno Fernandes. That pinged, angled, crossfield volleyed ball. And then Ahmad's pace got him into the penalty area. And then as he checked out, he just stabbed it back towards the top of the penalty area. And Bruno Fernandes ran onto it and curled a beauty beyond Matt Sells. United 2, Forest 3.
Do you know where that comes from? It comes from a Milenkovic free kick that he didn't put it where he wanted to. He left it short. You've got to go, if anything, go too long and put it out for a throw-in down in their half. He tried to be too precise and left it short into the midfield. Chris Wood couldn't get hold of it, and they go and score. That's how precise and you have to be at this level, because you will get punished for the slightest of mistakes, and that was one from Milenkovic there.
It's a cracking atmosphere now. That's got it going again. That's Manchester United. Home fans back in the game, which is not what Forest want, of course. And Forest need to keep their confident football. Here's Ola Aina running away from Bruno Fernandes and then taking on Ugarte as well. He's 25 yards out now and he swaps passes with Hudson-Odoi. And outside him is Jota. Jota stabs the ball backwards for Yates. Yates running towards the corner of the box, lays it off for Gibbs-White. Now Aina again for Hudson-Odoi, for Gibbs-White, for Hudson-Odoi. Chips it forward again towards Gibbs-White. Gibbs-White wins it and then goes down, and nothing given. And Manchester United able to try and break. Another decision that Forest thought they should have had, but not given in their favour. Again, it was very nice passing football. Not able to break through this time, Forest. And here's Martinez forward towards Højlund. Murillo steps in and wins the ball, and then Hudson-Odoi tries to take it away from Ugarte, but now Bruno Fernandes again down the left hand side for Dalot. Early ball in, comes for Ahmad, back post, hits it first time, didn't get hold of it. And Manchester United have really gone up a gear. They needed to, of course. They were 3-1 down, they've got one back, and they're roaring back at Forest now, but the Reds still in front.
They had to show this sort of reaction. Forest were here winning 3-1. They had to come out and do something, and they're doing it now. Forest just stay strong, stay composed, get your passes in like they have been doing, and we'll frustrate them again. Get another goal.
Sells clears, and it's gone over the head of Wood this time, I think deliberately so, looking for Jota Silva. But United pick it up. This is Dalot, put under pressure by Gibbs-White, curls the ball out towards Ahmad, and he's touched it on first time towards Rashford. Rashford 15 yards inside the Forest half and making quick tracks. He's taking on Elliot Anderson, who takes it off him. Good defensive work from Anderson, who's now won a throw for his team as well, as he takes it away towards halfway. And two changes on the way for Manchester United. They're going to bring on two defenders. Mazraoui and Maguire are coming on.
Strange subs.
That's,
when you're on top.
Unless they've got injuries or... I mean, it's Lenny Yoro's debut, isn't it? He's been out. So, I mean, they may have thought we'll get an hour out of him and then change him. This might have been a pre-planned one, I guess, but two defenders coming on. I was going to say not quite yet, but now they are. De Ligt is coming off. So Maguire replaces De Ligt, and given the speed with which De Ligt has left the field, that doesn't look like it's an injury thing. And it is Mazraoui for Yoro. So United 3-2 down at home, changed two of the back three.
I don't get it at all. I don't get those subs, because you bring in Maguire and Dillett are exactly the same, aren't they?
Yeah,
exactly like for like. And the way he ran off the pitch, he's not injured. So yeah, it's a strange sub, that is.
Here is one of those subs, that's Noussair Mazraoui. And then it's sent forward by United towards Højlund, and Ola Aina gets back on the cover, on the pivot behind Nikola Milenkovic. And gets a high 10 from Milenkovic as he dives in to head that back to Matt Sells. Clearance is looking for Chris Wood, and Wood brings it down beautifully on his chest. Ugarte steps in, but at the expense of a Forest throw 10 yards inside the Manchester United half, and quite rightly Elliot Anderson just slowing things down as he throws the ball back softly to Nico Williams to take the throw. We're almost, not quite, a minute or so away from halfway through the second half, and Forest are leading at Old Trafford by 3-2 here on the home of live Nottinghamshire Sport. Yates wins it against Bruno Fernandes, who's making an dear. I mean, I don't think this is a free kick against Yates, but Bruno Fernandes has done just enough to make sure the referee so maybe it is a free kick. Has he given a free kick?
He couldn't have done. Honestly, he couldn't have done.
I mean, it's not a free kick. I mean, no, I think he stopped play because Bruno Fernandes was saying he had a head injury. He hadn't even gone down. He was just clutching his head and making a meal of it. So Forest, in full flow going forward, had to stop because the referee had to come back and say, have you got a head injury? And the answer is no, he hadn't got a head injury. And no, he doesn't need treatment. But of course, we've lost the flow of the attack and had to stop. And now Forest are taking the opportunity, because United have stopped it anyway, to make a change. And that change is one that we're used to seeing when Forest are in front. Morato comes on and he replaces Jota Silva, who's had a good game down the right hand side. He was unlucky not to score himself on a couple of occasions in the first half. He hit the bar with a header, a decent look to the top, deflected over for a corner.
Yeah, Jota's done well this afternoon. Just his, if nothing else, if he doesn't bring any other qualities, his sheer work rate and enthusiasm.
Yeah, just runs, doesn't he? Runs
and
runs
sometimes
and
good
runs.
enough.
Here's Dalot trying to get away from Gibbs White, can't do so, runs out of real estate. Forest will have a throw 10 yards inside their own half. So Morato into a back three. He's on the left, Murillo in the middle, Milenkovic on the right. And then you might want to call it a back five. But I mean, effectively it's Manchester United shape now, isn't it? It's a 3-4-2-1 with Gibbs White and Hudson-Odoi behind Wood up front. And here is Wood trying to get on the end of it. Mazraoui's across to nod it down to Lisandro Martinez. 10 yards inside his own half. Martinez trotting forward towards halfway, threads one through to Bruno Fernandes. He helps it on towards Højlund, challenged by Murillo. And Gibbs White, as the ball is looping up towards him, calls Matt Sells to him so that he can head it back to the Belgian goalkeeper, and does so. And Sells clears towards Chris Wood, who's up against Harry Maguire now. Maguire wins that header, but Forest then trying to win it in midfield. Yates, though, held off by a combination of Mainoo and Dalot. Fernandes switches play out towards the right-hand side, towards Ahmad. Up gets Williams to head the ball away for Forest, comes out for Rashford. 24 minutes played in the second half at Old Trafford. Forest 3-2 ahead. Kobbie Mainoo has it, rolls it square to Martinez. Now Kobbie Mainoo, middle of the Forest half, just darts into space towards the edge of the penalty area, where he's closed down by Elliot Anderson. Tenacious tackling, and comes away with the ball, Anderson, and then takes on two and gives it to Gibbs White. Gibbs White stands on the ball. He's up against four though, and he's going to lose it here, and he has. But then Bruno Fernandes gives it away. And it's clipped forward by Morato to Hudson-Odoi, gives it back to Morato, and now for Nico Williams on the left-hand side near halfway. Williams has turned and he's got away from Ahmad, and then he's stopped by a good challenge from Mazraoui. And now Kobbie Mainoo has it. He's held up though by Chris Wood, getting back goal side. And now Bruno Fernandes curls the ball out to the right-hand side for Ahmad. Ahmad taking on Nico Williams, but loses out again to another good tackle from Elliot Anderson, but he runs into Mazraoui, and Rashford fires over the cross, and it's come all the way back post for Ola Aina to control and chip it forward towards Chris Wood. Maguire gets up though and heads it down to his left. Martinez rather gets away with a half hit pass to Mainoo. Mainoo gets it back from Bruno Fernandes, and now here's Martinez once more. United are at walking pace, and you can hear that the home fans don't like that, because their side is behind by 3-2 to Forest. Dalot plays it down the left-hand side, and Fernandes gives up the chase. He won't chase that, and it's out for a goal kick. 3-2 to Forest. Nearly 26 minutes played, 19 to go.
Perfect shape from Forest. Now they've gone to a back three. our wing backs now can get tighter to their wing backs instead of over covering when we were back four and leaving the furthest one, and when he gets it he's in loads of space. We can almost meet him as soon as he touches the ball now, so we'll be a lot more solid as a back five against their front three, front four.
Sells clears from left to right. I do believe the rain might have stopped as well. It's certainly a lot lighter if it hasn't stopped altogether. Forest here want a handball given, but again Darren England just waves it away, and Mazraoui sends one forward down the inside right channel. Murillo gets across ahead of Hoyland, and then Williams finds Morato on the edge of his penalty area, and Morato clears down the left hand side, but Elliot Anderson can't keep it in play. Joshua Zirkzee being made ready by Manchester United as their fourth substitute, and it'll be their last one actually as well, because it'll be their third substitute stoppage. So unless they're going to bring somebody else on as well at the same time, that'll be it for Ruben Amorim. Here's Ahmad down the right hand side for United. He's 30 yards out, lays it off short to Ugarte, beaten away by Milenkovic. Comes back again though for Hoyland. He gives it Dalot just inside the box, trying to take on Heine. United still have it towards the edge of the penalty area, thumped away by Murillo. Chris Wood on the chase. Harry Maguire gives it back to Onana, who's outside his penalty area again, but does turn it away from Wood. And now Ugarte. United starting to build up a head of steam again, but Ugarte gives it away to Gibbs White. Forest trying to keep possession with Elliot Anderson. Gibbs White loses out in a sliding tackle from Diogo Dalot. Again Forest wanted a free kick, and again it was turned down. Bruno Fernandes. Referee waves play on as Bruno Fernandes goes down under a nothing challenge from Yates, because United have still got the ball. This is Rashford, sends it out wide to the left for Diogo Dalot, who's near the corner of the penalty area, trying to take on Ola Heine. Heine blocks the cross and then goes and tries to retrieve the ball, but now here's Rashford firing over the cross, headed by Milenkovic out of the penalty area, just helped on by Hudson-Odoi, and Harry Maguire's touch takes him back to halfway. Forest leading by 3-2. United seeing a lot of the ball now. This is Bruno Fernandes, 25 yards out, lays it left hand side for Dalot. Now here's Martinez, he's a long way out but shooting, it's blocked by Milenkovic, spins up in the air. Nico Williams trying to get it clear and has done. Won't quite come as far as Chris Wood though, because Martinez is in the way. Forest can't get out at the moment. Ugarte forward towards the edge of the box. Hoyland goes down. Now they might be able to get out. No, Milenkovic was trying to release Gibbs White and the pass wasn't accurate enough, so United have it again from halfway. This is Kobbie Mainoo. Forest leading 3-2. Here's Mazraoui for Ugarte, and Mazraoui again into the feet of Kobbie Mainoo, and now this is Rashford, sends a ball long towards the left hand side. Dalot taking on Heine, fires over the cross and plucked out of the air by Matt Sells. And Sells, you'd imagine, will just slow things down a little bit here, and he has managed to do that. He won't be able to do so for long though, because the ball was in his hands. But Forest need a bit of a breather here from somewhere. It's played up towards Wood. Maguire's header goes away towards the left. Dalot has found a flick infield towards Mainoo, and United have got it again. Forest cannot get a break at the moment. Maguire sends it towards the left wing for Diogo Dalot. It's 30 yards out. Down the line from him is Bruno Fernandes, but his ball is intercepted by Heine. He then loses out in the challenge with Dalot, and it'll be a Manchester United throw. But here come the United changes. They have now got Mason Mount ready as well, so it will be a double change, so they will have used all 5. Mason Mount replaces Bruno Fernandes, and Zirkzee comes on to replace Ugarte.
Very attacking substitutions there. Ugarte, obviously the sitting midfielder, coming off, and Mason Mount replacing him. He's got energy, quality, but if I was Forest, I'd let Chris Wood just stay up the pitch and stay 1v1 against Harry Maguire. He's not doing much when he's going back in the defensive shape anyway, and just be an outlet for Forest.
a bit late by Mason Mount here on Ryan Yates. Yates getting back up to his feet now, but I think, as we've been saying, Forest need a breather. And I think Yates knew that. And now that breather is going to get even longer because Forest are going to make a double change as well. They are going to bring on the former Manchester United man, Anthony Elanga, and also Nico Dominguez. Changes 2 and 3 for Forest, although they're not doing it quite yet. Ball is sent forward from Sells, cleared to halfway. Milenkovic heads it forward again, and then Yates wins a good header against Mount. Maguire heads it forward. Hoyland nods it down back into his own half for Dallow. Left hand side, near side to us as United attack the Stretford end and try to come back from 3-2 down. Forest having the lead. 2 quick goals at the start of the second half, turning a 1-1 half-time score into a 3-1 lead after 54 minutes. Milenkovic, Gibbs, White and Wood on the score sheet for Forest. Equaliser from Rasmus Hoyland in the first half for United, and Bruno Fernandes getting his side back into it on 61, but still Forest leading 3-2 with 13 to go. Here's Harry Maguire on halfway, forward towards the new sub Xerxes, who links up with the other one, Mason Mount. Mount 15 yards inside the United half. Now here's Maguire. He turns it away to his right hand side. Ahmad linking up with Rashford, and then down the line it goes towards Rashford again. Forest trying to get a foot in. They have done with Morato, and then Elliot Anderson clears, but out into touch. And is that going to be the time to make the substitutions? Let's see what Nuno decides. Yes, it is. Here come the changes, and Chris Wood is actually coming off. He's going to be sacrificed. And Elanga, I guess Elanga will go on as a straight swap, and they'll use his pace down the middle, maybe up against Harry Maguire. Maybe that's the thinking.
Yeah, a bit
Play
more
it
of an
on
outlet.
the floor rather than up in the air.
Yeah.
And Nico Dominguez is going to come on to replace Morgan Gibbs-White.
Makes sense, those subs do for me. Chris Wood's putting a shift. So as Gibbs-White started to get a little bit sloppy last 10 minutes, giving the ball away and stuff. So having Elanga up top, play balls down the channel for him. He's going to be left 1v1 against Harry Maguire. Fancy him all day long.
The second half goal scorers come off the field to huge applause from the Forest fans away to our right hand side. Chris Wood becoming the all-time leading scorer for the club in the Premier League. And what's happening now? The referee is still waiting for something else, and I don't know what. He keeps looking across towards the fourth official. I think have they lost contact? That seemed to be the fourth official's gesture. He sort of pointed to his earpiece and then made like a cutting sign. Not really sure what you do in these circumstances, but nobody else seems to be entirely sure.
No.
Referee Darren England is stood with his assistant away on the far side of the field.
A little lost.
And they're looking down. They're looking at the tunnel, and somebody's run out of the tunnel with a little briefcase, and he's running around the side of the pitch behind the goal.
Getting booed.
Getting booed by the Stretford end. It seems to be a problem with the assistant referee's kit rather than the referee's kit. He's put his flag down and has gone across to meet said man with the briefcase halfway round. And he has something to do with the communications equipment, the earpieces or whatever. Nuno and Rui Pedro Silva are just talking to the assistant referee on this near side, I think asking him what kit it is that's gone wrong. I don't know if this is a good thing for Forest or not, is it? I don't know. They were in the rhythm, but I did say a couple of minutes ago they needed a bit of a breather. Is this too long of a breather?
I think this is too long, because all this does is adds on to the added time at the end of the game, and when you feel like you're doing well, you've got 10 minutes left now, say, all of a sudden it's going to be 18 minutes left.
Yeah. Oh, because there'll be plenty.
Oh,
There'll be plenty, you can bet that. The rain started again. And now, as we get back underway again, I think there's been an immediate clash of heads. Callum Hudson-Odoi is the Forest man who's involved. And a Manchester United player is bending down at the moment. Can't quite see who that is.
Mashwari.
Is it Mazraoui? Yeah. And they're both sort of getting back up again. Or say getting back up. They were both down on their haunches, really. I don't think they were even too near the ball. I think it's just an accidental coming together of the two of them.
I don't think it warrants this amount of stoppage time.
And now we've now, having seen that they've gone across to make sure they're both okay, the referee has decided that Mazraoui isn't. And so he's called the physios on. I don't think Mazraoui wanted the physio on. He's been told he's got to leave the field, Mazraoui, by referee Darren England. I assume that means he's bleeding somewhere. But we're seeing a close-up now of him, and I can't see any blood on his face or anything. He looks absolutely nonplussed as to why he's got to go off. And there are two physios with him now. And they are giving him treatment as this is cut out. Maguire's pass forward by Hudson-Odoi, but then Maguire wins it back again and then gives it away again to Elliot Anderson, and he's played it back almost beyond Murillo, but Murillo slides in and nicks it away from Rasmus Højlund at the expense of a Manchester United throw. Again, you can see the delay there. It's almost completely upset both sets of players, because that was just a catalogue of errors, one after the other, from one side and then the other.
And it's going to result in 10 minutes of added time, which I think could have been avoided.
Here's Maguire in the centre circle for Manchester United. Forest 3, Manchester United 2 here at Old Trafford. And in terms of normal time, 7 minutes are what remains. Here is Ahmad down the right-hand side looking for Rashford. Rashford hits the byline, pulls it across back post, and Dallow's header is comfortable for Matt Sells. Pretty much straight at him, and Sells bats it down into the ground and then pounces on it. Great noise from the Forest fans to our right-hand side, who are sensing how close their side is to a first win here since 1994, Collymore and Pearce et al. 30 years. It's only 8 visits ago, but the last 7 have all ended in Manchester United wins. This is Harry Maguire for United. He's 10 yards inside his own half. Lays it to his right for Mazraoui. Forest getting back into their shape again. Forrester, I'll tell you in just a second, as Maguire sends a long ball forward towards Dallow, too long, and allowed to run out of play by Aina, so it will be a Forest throw. They're not playing Elanga up front through the middle, are they, after those substitutions? It's Dominguez.
It's like Dominguez playing like a...
He's playing through the middle as a false 9.
False 9, and hoping to get Elanga and Hudson-Odoi still on the wings.
Yeah. Tough ask for Nico Dominguez to go and play in that position up against, as he is now, Lisandro Martinez, and with Harry Maguire up against him as well. Maguire is back to Andre Onana, who leaves it a bit short, but Onana has it again. He's 30 yards out from his goal at the moment and gives it to Martinez, and he sends it square to Maguire. 5 minutes to go now. Maguire forward to Joshua Zirkzee for Manchester United. Back to Kobbie Mainoo, who's gone in between the two centre halves at the moment. Now Mason Mount forward down the left-hand side to Dallow. Milenkovic trying to step in and beat Zirkzee to the ball, but can't do so. Dallow with the cross, blocked by Yates' face, and out for a Manchester United corner from their left-hand side. Just over 4 minutes remaining. And Forest leading Manchester United by 3 goals to 2. Corner for United. High towards the back post. It is nodded at the back post, back across the face of goal, but only reaches the near post, and Matt Sells comes and takes a very, very confident claim. 2 hands on it, through a crowd.
Brilliant.
That'll be mine.
Just what you want as a defender or a team when the ball goes up there this late on in the game. Keeper just to come and claim it and lie on it for a few seconds.
It's cleared long by Matt Sells, but I mean, that's what Forest have been doing all day, really, is clearing it long, but I'm not really sure that Nico Dominguez is going to have much chance up against Harry Maguire at winning those aerial balls. United have it again. This is Dalot down the left-hand side, and he rolls it backwards for Martinez. Now Maguire, 10 yards into the Forest half. To the right for Mazraoui, and now for Ahmad. Ahmad running towards the corner of the penalty area, leaves it now for Xerxes. Xerxes for Mainu. Mainu sends it across to the left-hand side for Dalot again. Dalot with the cross, back post, headed away, not very far. Volleyed back towards goal and blocked and cleared by Elliot Anderson. Picked up by Mazraoui, gets away from Hudson-Odoi, and Ahmad down the right-hand side is blocked by a tackle from Nico Williams, and then Anderson goes and wins it again, and he's with Nico Williams near the corner flag, and Williams clears down the line. It will be a Manchester United throw, but that's good defending by the pair of them. 3 minutes to go, plus added time.
I think it's going to be like this for the next, well, for however long it's going to be added time, because Forest can't get out, but at the same time Forest have got bodies back there to defend it, so I'm pretty confident that Forest can keep United at bay here.
Martinez for Manchester United, 10 yards in the Forest half, gives it to the feet of Rashford. He lays it off for Kobbie Mainoo. United at walking pace again for Martinez once more inside the penalty area. In it goes to Xerxes' feet midway inside the Forest half, lays it off for Højlund. Now Martinez cut out by Ola Aina, and he links up with Elanga, and he gives it back to Elanga down the right hand side. Across gets Martinez to block Elanga's run and send the ball back to Andre Onana. 2 to go. Forest winning 3-2 at Old Trafford. Haven't won here since 1994. Here is Harry Maguire for Martinez, and back to Onana it goes again. Onana lays it off for Mazraoui. Still halfway inside his own half, Mazraoui now looks for the long ball towards Højlund, overhit by about 20 yards, and is going to go all the way through to Matt Sells, and Sells is closed down by Xerxes, so he has to pick it up. Does so though. Another change on the way for Forest. This will be their last one. It'll only be their 4th, but it will be their last substitution stoppage. Taiwo Awoniyi is coming on. That's an elbow by Mount into Ryan Yates, into his sort of higher chest, lower neck area, and a free kick for Forest. Here's the change. It's Callum Hudson-Odoi who's making way for Awoniyi in the 89th minute.
Awoniyi at centre half.
Another one.
Put him back there.
Here comes Callum Hudson-Odoi walking off the field. No hurry from him. And he's replaced by Awoniyi.
I'm interested to see this stoppage time board go up.
It'll be long.
I'll be amazed if it's less than 8 minutes.
Free kick Forest inside the centre circle. Murillo to take. Chips it forward. Højlund though heads it away pretty easily. Yates with a challenge in midfield. Another foot in from Nico Dominguez, who now drops a little bit deeper, of course, because Awoniyi is on centre forward. And the 4th official is out at the edge of the pitch to tell us that Forest will have another 7 minutes. Here's Dalot at the edge of the penalty area. Oh, that is a Twickenham effort. He's gone right underneath that, and it's ended up halfway back up the Stretford end as he fires way over the crossbar. 7 minutes away from victory here, and the United supporters have been leaving for several minutes, and now there are plenty more heading for the exits. Their team trails by 3 goals to 2.
I'm surprised with the 7 minutes there. I thought we were going to put a lot more on than that.
And there's another ball on the pitch. Matt Sells has not in any real rush to go and retrieve that second ball from his penalty area before taking this goal kick. Crowd 73,778. There's certainly not that many left here now, but United pick it up through midfield. Yates gets a foot in. It's all a bit scrappy at the moment in midfield. Xerxes' ball goes straight out of play. It'll be a Forest throw on halfway, right hand side. Ola Aina to take. First minute of added time is up. 6 more to go. It's Manchester United 2, Forest 3. Nikola Milenkovic, 90 seconds with his first goal for the club. Rasmus Højlund with the equaliser on 18 minutes. 1-1 at half-time. Gibbs White with a goal 2 minutes into the second half for Forest. And then Chris Wood, 9 minutes into the second half, making it 3-1. His 10th of the season, his 25th for Forest as a Premier League player, taking him past Brian Roy on the all-time Premier League scorers list for the club and to the top. And then Bruno Fernandes getting a goal back for United just after the hour mark. It's 3-2 into stoppage time. This is Rasmus Højlund. His ball forward is aimless again and goes all the way through to Matt Sells, who again takes his time before picking it up. And that's 2 minutes down. 5 to go.
Come on, Forest, you can hold on. This Man U crowd have been terrible, haven't they, really? Compared to what they used to be. Every misplaced pass they've been booed.
What I will say about this crowd is, although it's emptying out a bit, there's more left here than there was at Manchester City on Wednesday night at this time. They cleared off sharpish. Down the left-hand side, the ball is played for Forest, but across gets Mazraoui to send it back to Andre Onana, ahead of Nico Dominguez. Onana, in his purple kit, is running out to the middle of the United half before clearing long towards Dalot. Dalot wins the header on. Murillo races across to get there ahead of Højlund and clears high under the Sir Bobby Charlton stand roof into touch. And United's supporters have thrown the ball back onto the pitch with another one already in play. Referee happy to let it go on as Ola Aina clears the errant ball off. Here's Ahmad down the right hand side, takes on Nico Williams, who fouls him, and that's going to be a booking for Williams and a chance for Manchester United to get the ball into the Forest penalty area.
If I was Aina, I'd have left the ball on. I wouldn't have kicked it off. I think the referee would have had to stop
back again.
Exactly.
Williams just across late, clipping the heels of Ahmad. Free kick, Mason Mount to take. It's 25 yards out or so, but it's very wide on the right hand side. Forest need to be stout here defensively. We are in the 4th minute of added time. United with this free kick from wide right in front of the Stretford end. It's United 2, Forest 3. And here's Mason Mount's delivery and headed away by Elanga as far as Rashford, whose volley is deflected wide. Volley from the edge of the penalty area from Rashford, and it clipped off Awoniyi closing him down, I think it was. And it's a United corner. Rashford goes across to take from United's left-hand side. It may have been Milenkovic actually that got the touch to take it wide. Rashford fires it towards the back post. Volley! Acrobatic from Martinez over the crossbar by a whisker and out for a goal kick. It was acrobatic stuff. It was dramatic stuff. It was hearts in mouth stuff from Forest. And it's just over. And it's a goal kick. And we've played 5 of the 7 stoppage time minutes. And more United fans are leaving. And Forest still lead by 3 goals to 2. Matt Sells clears as far away from his penalty area as he can. Maguire wins the header. United have it in midfield. Mount with the control. Foul by Yates. Free kick. Onana races forward to take and then throws it too far into the Forest half to take, and now he's told he's got to go even further back, Andre Onana, and still he's got to go back. And the referee...
This is comical.
Yeah, it is comical. And then Onana throws it forward again, and he's eventually still going to pinch a couple of yards. No, he's not. because Darren England has said, go back level with the assistant referee. And finally, Andre Onana puts it down in the right place. And now the wind blows it forward. Onana finally sends the free kick towards the back edge of the penalty area. Maguire heads it behind for a goal kick. He's trying to nod it into the box from very wide down the right wing, but it's gone behind, and it's another Forest goal kick, and that's 6 of the 7 added minutes played here at Old Trafford.
So Onana's wasted 20 seconds deciding where the ball's going to go, an extra 2 yards forward or back, and then he balloons it out of play near enough.
Yeah. And more United fans leave, and the Forest fans turn up the volume once more. Their side leads by 3 goals to 2, and we are 6.5 minutes into 7 minutes of promised added time at Old Trafford. Anderson gets up, gets his head to it. Aina gets his head to it on halfway. Awonyi with a touch to Dominguez. He gives it to Elanga. Elanga is going to take it to the corner flag. He's up against Dalot. He's fouled by Dalot, and Forest get a free kick, and that's it. The referee blows his whistle, and Forest have beaten Manchester United at Old Trafford for the first time since 1994. It's been nearly 11,000 days since this last happened. Here at Old Trafford, it's finished Manchester United 2, Forest 3. It's a fabulous away day for the Reds in sky blue in Manchester. They have beaten Manchester United at Old Trafford thanks to goals from Nikola Milenkovic, Morgan Gibbs-White and Chris Wood. And it means, here's a stat for you, for the first time ever, Forest have won away at Liverpool and Manchester United in the same season. It has never happened before. It has happened this season for Nuno's Forest, and it is his name that the Forest fans are singing away to our right-hand side. United 2, Forest 3 at Old Trafford. James Perch.
What a win. What a result that is. What a defensive performance. A collective 3 points with the fans here to our right all chanting Nuno's name for the club. Brilliant, like you said, first time ever that we've beaten Liverpool and Manchester United away from home, and it wasn't a lucky 3 points. We fully deserved to get something out of that game, and the 3 points was justified by the way we defended as a group, and those players out there have been magnificent, even from the subs from Nuno, the ones that he did, putting Morato at the back, taking Chris Wood off, putting Nilango to the wide. Everything he did today and everything that the Forest players did was perfect.
Forest are 5th in the Premier League tonight. They are back up to 5th place in the Premier League. There's an intruder on the pitch who's been wrestled to the ground by 4 stewards who all got to him. Not sure who he was aiming for. He was racing across from one corner of Old Trafford towards this near side where the Forest supporters and their players are all celebrating together. It's quite the scene here at Old Trafford. Forest well and truly enjoying themselves, enjoying their hard-earned 3 points here. Nuno's walking away now with his hands in his pockets, but with a big beaming grin on his face. And it's Callum Hudson-Odoi who leads the cheers, leads the crowd in those cheers away to the right-hand side. And well, you have to enjoy moments like this, James Birch.
Yeah, enjoy it, soak it all in. The fans will enjoy it because it doesn't come around often. Winning away at Man U the way they've done it, fully deserving to do it as well. You just have to enjoy nights like these, enjoy days like these, because these will make great memories for the lads.
They defended magnificently, didn't they?
I can't remember Milenkovic apart from his free kick which led to a goal. Aina, Nico Williams putting a foot wrong. Matt Sells, he didn't do anything wrong, and that's what you need to do as a group, as a defensive unit. Keep the mistakes down to a minimum and you'll have a good chance of winning games, and that's what the lads have done there.
Story of the game, Nikola Milenkovic headed Forest into a second-minute lead, 90 seconds as he headed home from 6 yards out Elliot Anderson's corner. Manchester United had what was probably their best spell of the game in response to conceding that early goal, and they got their equaliser on 18 minutes, a fine move which was ended by Alejandro Garnacho's shot being well saved actually by Matt Sells. A bit unfortunate to see the rebound fall straight to Rasmus Højlund, who stabbed into an empty net from 6 yards out. Before half-time though, Jota had hit the bar, he'd had a shot deflected over, Murillo had seen a side foot volley go just wide, and then after half-time Morgan Gibbs-White's low shot from the edge of the penalty area somehow beat Andre Onana. He'll certainly want that goal back. And then 9 minutes into the second half, Gibbs-White's cross from the right-hand side found Chris Wood backing away beyond the back post. He headed it back across the face of goal, and both Martinez and Onana and De Ligt kind of stood and watched it go into the Manchester United net rather than clearing it. 3-1 Forest. Bruno Fernandes got one back for Manchester United just after the hour, but Forest stood firm after that. And to be honest, even in that last half an hour plus 7 minutes of added time, Manchester United never really threatened Matt Sells' goal. It means that Forest have their 3 points, they're back up to 5th in the Premier League, and they've beaten Manchester United here at Old Trafford for the first time in 30 years. It's finished. Manchester United 2, Forest 3.
Oh, that was fun. Colin Frey, thank you very much indeed. Colin will go and get reaction from the Forest camp from Nuno and whoever else wants to speak to him. I think they'll be queuing up. Do you want a couple more stats while we're at it? First time Forest have scored 3 at Old Trafford since 2 from Colin Walsh and 1 from Nigel Clough in 1986. They won here by 3 goals to 2. And this one is an obscure one. You'll enjoy this. Nuno has become just the second Forest manager to win both of his first 2 league games against Manchester United. The first one was Fred Earp in the 1909-1910 season. Yeah, I didn't think you would. But look, the point is, this is an historic win. This does not happen very often. Coming to Old Trafford and winning regardless of any state that Manchester United are in at the time, coming here and winning does not happen every season. This is one for those fans to enjoy, and no wonder so many of them are staying in to enjoy every last minute of it.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. The memories that it makes, the fans all love it. They've travelled in tough conditions today, obviously with the storm and all that stuff, so fair play to them. It makes it worth it when your team puts in a performance like that and score 3 goals away at Old Trafford and win the game. It makes it all worthwhile coming up and spending your hard-earned cash and travelling in treacherous conditions.
Yeah, I mean, those supporters have had some great away days over the last couple of years, despite the results, if we're honest. You know, they haven't been good away from home. Certainly in that first season, I think just 6 points, picked up 1 win and a few draws in all the away games in that first season, picked up a bit later on in the second season, but then this season away from home they've become a force. And what was interesting throughout the game today, I know that they scored early, which possibly helped, but really from the start you sense they didn't come here in any way intimidated by Manchester United, and with absolute confidence they were coming here to get something.
Well, we called it, didn't we? We said when the lineups came out, Nuno can smell a bit of weakness in United's team, and we said he'd go for it, and fair play to him, he did. The lads listened to him, they took it on board, and to score in under 2 minutes from the first whistle and then do it again after half time, it's brilliant. And that's what you need to do when you come away to these places, show them very little respect, and take it to them and get the 3 points that they fully deserved.
Those supporters are going through sort of a greatest hits of their chants at the moment, singing for Danilo, who's not even involved, but why not? You know, as I say, they've had a lot of long away trips, and some of them, you know, the older ones anyway, will remember Stuart Pearce and Stan Collymore here scoring in 1994. Brilliant goal by Stan Collymore, and a Stuart Pearce one that deflected in, and a big win that was when Forest had just been promoted back up to the Premier League. But you know, this is one of those, for younger supporters, for a whole generation of fans, they've watched Forest play in the Championship and Manchester United be the kings of Europe and winning the league and all that kind of thing. To see their team come here, this is a first time for an entire generation getting to experience something like this.
Yep, and it's brilliant because hopefully that will breed a new fan, if you like, and it'll be memories for them. So maybe it might be another 30 years till Forest win it? Hopefully not, but
12 months, I'm going to.
Yeah, hopefully 12 months. But if it was like you remembered the Stan Collymore goal the last time for us, so it's brilliant for you to come back here and get a win and remember what Stan Collymore did. So for those guys over there, it'll be a great memory and one that will live long.
There've been many firsts over the course of this year, really. A first win at Liverpool since the 60s, a first win at Manchester United for 30 years. So many of these things matter to supporters, but they mean more than that, don't they? It shows the progress that Forest have made since returning to the Premier League and 2 years of just fighting at the bottom end of the table. Now coming here and not fluking a win, coming here and scoring 3 goals away from home at Manchester United, and deservedly so.
Yeah, they're a real force now. In attack, they've got players who can score goals. Chris Wood, obviously. You've got Callum Hudson-Odoi on the wing, who's a threat, and then at the back, you've got two monsters who don't put a foot wrong, can head it, can clear it, can play, and they just seem to have got a really good blend of very good players and experience, and players who are playing well, who are on top of the game right now.
And it was another occasion where they brought Morato on. And he's been a substitute in the last sort of 10-20 minutes. Taiwo Awoniyi is just going over to those away supporters at the moment. There's still several hundred of them inside Old Trafford here. I mean, Old Trafford otherwise, apart from that, completely emptied. And Awoniyi is going up the steps towards some of those supporters. I think he's trying to pick out some of them. The other subs who are out on the pitch at the moment. And Awoniyi's going up, taking off his white tracksuit top and shaking hands with some people who, I don't know if he knows them. I think he may do, because he's sort of pointed to them and knows them somehow. Maybe I'm obviously unaware of how he would know them, but he's shaking hands with them at the moment, and he's going to give them I think his training top. Maybe he's having a photograph taken with them on that front row of the upper tier. And what a lovely moment that for them, and Taiwo Awoniyi keen to get up there and share this with those supporters in that sort of middle tier of that corner. James Birch.
Yeah, great touch from him. I've been putting my jumper on sharpish though, because it's freezing out here.
Yeah, he didn't give it over actually. Maybe he went, I would give you this. It's a bit chilly though. Can I keep it? And he's putting it back on as he runs back on the pitch. I was sure he was going to hand that over, but he went up there and had a photo taken. And I think, to be honest, his manager might not be too happy if he came back in freezing cold after having given his t-shirt away at this point. But he's put his training gear back on again, and he's back on the pitch to do some warm down exercises. Is Taiwo Awoniyi. So Morato came off the bench. I say he's come on in bits and bobs throughout the course of the season, played the second half at Manchester City, came on again. Doesn't he just help shore things up? I mean, Milenkovic and Murillo had done well anyway, that back four had done so well today, but you throw Morato into the mix and it just makes such a difference. Really, really good tool for Nuno to be able to use to shore things up. Yeah,
he's a presence. You can, just looking at him, he looks big and looks like he wants to defend, and it's not easy for a defender to go on in any game, let alone at Old Trafford away when you're winning. At the time, I think it was 3-1. So it is always tough for defenders to come on the pitch, but Nuno's got a system now where whether he starts or not, he knows he can rely on him to chuck him on and shore the game up, and that's what he's done every time I've seen him play, and I bet that's been most of the games this season. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he hasn't started a game yet for Forest. You know, he's arrived here with Champions League experience, having played an awful lot with Benfica. He's mid-20s. I'm sure he's desperate to play a lot more football. Very difficult for him to knock on Nuno's door and say, put me in, when you've got Milenkovic and Murillo ahead of him. But he's patient, and when he comes on, I don't think I've really seen him make a mistake. He's always been impressive, and that goal at Manchester City in the week was the first goal they've conceded with him on the pitch. And when he came on today again, they didn't concede after with him on the pitch. And the importance of a big, solid substitute like that, it can't be underestimated, can it? It's a really important tool for Nuno to have at that point. Yeah, Nuno will be buzzing with it, that he's got this option to bring on when he needs him, and he's reliable. He'll head anything, he'll kick anything out of the box, and like you said, knocking on the manager's door when you've got Murillo and Milenkovic playing so well, it's so hard for him to do that, but it just shows what a good attitude he has got, that when he is called upon, he goes in there and he does his job and helps the lads win games, and that's brilliant from him. Let's talk through the goals, shall we? It's always fun to replay the goals after a win, isn't it? So let's do that. It all started off so brilliantly for Forest inside 2 minutes with a headed goal from Nikola Milenkovic.
Elliot Anderson, right-footed, so an out-swinging corner to come. United with everybody back inside the penalty area. In it comes, and header by Milenkovic is in! 90 seconds in, Nikola Milenkovic scores his first Forest goal. Corner from Elliot Anderson, and Milenkovic 6 yards out with a bullet header. Fired it past Onana, who never even moved. And Forest, just like they did here last year, have the perfect start. Last year they couldn't find the perfect end. Can they go on from this? Perfect platform. Nikola Milenkovic, his first goal for the club.
And what a moment that was. Now, I must admit, I think probably for all the Forest fans in that corner, who have now finally gone, by the way, apart from 2 or 3 who are just looking out over the pitch at the moment, I think, and savouring every last second they can. But my memories went back to last season when Forest scored twice in the opening 4 minutes and still went on to lose. And I thought Forest are a bit of a different prospect this season. So you didn't sense that there would be the same kind of collapse, if you like, as there was in that game, albeit with some awful refereeing decisions that contributed to it. Joe Worrell sending off and the penalty that never should have been. But, you know, at 2-0 up, Forest were then a little bit of a soft underbelly and ended up losing the game. They're different this season. But to go ahead that early, there's a lot to discuss about this. United's defending and as well as part of it. But sort of the audacity to go straight on the front foot, first of all, away at Old Trafford, right from the start, get themselves a corner. Big man up from defence. Let's go. Let's try and get ahead early.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Great mindset from the players. And from the manager, I wouldn't be surprised if the manager said, right, let's go at them from the first whistle. Let's have a go. See how they cope with it and see how the fans cope with it. And to be honest, the fans were terrible today. I thought every single back pass got booed, and it just played into Forest's hands the way that the Man United crowd reacted. But that's credit to Forest, because we went on the front foot and got in their faces and got a corner in within the first minute, and Milenkovic getting the goal.
Pleasing for Milenkovic as well, because he's been so good since he arrived here, and great for him to get a goal, because I think we've all thought that, I mean, he's such a good header of the ball that he could be a huge use in the opposition penalty area. It's nice to see that coming to fruition. Yeah,
we said, didn't we, a couple of times when I was on not long ago, with that we see goals in Chris Wood, obviously. Callum Hudson-Odoi's get chipping with a few, Alanga's going to do a few. We need the centre halves to get maybe 4 or 5 between them, or each, maybe pushing it at each. But even if they get a couple each, that just helps. And he is a threat. He is good at heading the ball, so he should be scoring goals. And to get one today at Old Trafford was brilliant.
We should mention the delivery from Elliot Anderson as well. You and I were talking about this before the game, weren't we? About how weak Manchester United have been from set pieces of late. Conceded 2 from corners against Arsenal the other night, and thought, well, Forest, if they get corners, just get the ball in the box, and it needs a good delivery. And we said, just to give us a bit of credit here, James Poach, we might as well, but we said we wondered before the team news came out, we said, I wonder if they'll, make sure they've got Anderson in there in that midfield in order to make those deliveries, especially if Alanga's not playing and Ward-Prowse doesn't seem to be near the starting 11 at the moment. And Anderson in there straight away, that's a perfect delivery.
Yeah, great delivery. We've seen him do it all season, put it on a 5-pence piece. But when Forest have got such a big squad, you look at the team. It's Milenkovic, Murillo, big. Yates is big enough and gets his head on things. Chris Wood. So the ball doesn't even have to be that good. It just has to be in the right area, and these big boys will go and attack it.
And you know, don't you? Just like happened last year, if you do get ahead early, that there's potentially a storm coming your way. But United had times, and they certainly had the lion's share of the ball, certainly, in that first half in retaliation to that. But I wouldn't say they were ever completely in control. You always felt there was a threat from Forest.
Yeah, I thought maybe the last 20 minutes in the first half was where Manchester United looked the most dangerous throughout the game. Second half, they huffed and puffed, but we chucked Morata on and just shored it up. I just think in the first half, that's when they looked more dangerous. But Nuno will be so proud that even coming away to Manchester United and them having so much possession in our final third, that we stood strong and kept them at bay to a certain degree. I know they scored 2 goals, but you were away at Old Trafford. They're going to score, and I think Nuno will go back and think, yeah, I can really trust this side now. I can trust them defensively, I can trust them attackingly with the players we've got, and we can go and win games away from home against good opposition.
That's a really interesting phrase. That he'll feel he can trust them. You think that by that, do you kind of mean that they'll stay calm in certain situations? They're not gonna panic. They're going to actually be able to stick to the game plan that he's laid out.
Yeah, I mean, like they're not gonna crumble. They're not gonna fold under pressure. You know, you've got a back four, back five, including the goalkeeper, that are going to put their head on things. They're not going to shirk out of a challenge or not want to get hurt. The lads out there were chucking the body in front of the ball, and Morata's heading balls, running backwards as balls are getting whipped in. So as a manager, and as I'm looking at it, I look at that and think, I'd love that in my side.
Yeah, I mean they are. We were talking to Steve Hodge the other day about the squad that Forest have got and the options that Nuno has on the bench. We talked about Morato, but other players that he can bring on, how he can mix things up to shore things up. Today he could bring on the pace of Elanga to just make it look a bit different in attack, to try and stretch things a little bit late on in a game where he needs to. That's so different again, I think, certainly to 2 years ago, where now he's not just got different players on the bench, he's got different kinds of players, he's got different options. He can change things tactically, either massively in terms of formation and go with three at the back, but he can change things in terms of, right, let's bring Chris Wood, we'll put Elanga on, we'll change it here, we'll go with Dominguez in a false nine. He's got players who can play different positions, and he can change things all over the place.
Yeah, exactly that. And for the players who are on the bench or not playing at this at times, they know they will, in other games, which they will need their qualities. So if it is Elanga on the bench today, next week he might be playing against a side that will need his pace, so he will play. So that's keeping all the players happy. And when you're winning games, it's very hard, even if you're a squad player, not to be happy because your team's winning and you're getting used sparely, but you're doing a job for the team, and that's what Nuno has created in this group. Players don't look frustrated when they're coming on or off. They know it's for the good of the team, and that just built a brilliant atmosphere in the dressing room, and it shows.
Yeah, so that was the first goal scored by Nikola Milenkovic, and a powerful header it was from a great delivery. The second goal, as neat a build-up as it was to it, there was a little bit of fortune to it, shall we say, scored by Morgan Gibbs-White.
But that's given away by Bruno Fernandes to Hudson-Odoi. He lays it off to his right for Gibbs-White, top of the D. Yes! He scores! Morgan Gibbs-White scores for Forest, and just like they did in the first half, they've scored inside 2 minutes of the second half as well. Morgan Gibbs-White from the top of the D may have deflected because it was very close to Andre Onana, but he couldn't do anything to keep it out. Gibbs-White with a knee slide in front of the Forest fans away to our right-hand side.
You don't get many gimmies in the Premier League, certainly not away from home against the top sides, and that's possibly one of the reasons it felt so frustrating on Wednesday night that Kevin De Bruyne gave the ball straight to Chris Wood and he went through and wasn't able to finish. So when Bruno Fernandes uncharacteristically gives the ball away halfway inside his own half, you really want to be able to take advantage, and they did. Neat little work from Callum Hudson-Odoi, pass to Morgan Gibbs-White, dead centre, but I don't think any of us, when he hit it, could quite work out how that had beaten Onana.
No, because the way it went in, it went almost just off centre, and Onana standing centre of the goal, and it went in. So we were like, must have took a deflection. Obviously, we've got the screen in front of us where it showed it didn't, and it was just a keeper's error. But it's a good strike from Gibbs-White. Kept it low, struck it well. So sometimes you make your own luck, and Fernandes giving the ball away makes it a little bit better because the way of his antics this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean that is what he's like, isn't it? Claiming everything and moaning about everything, and that's his manner, which is a shame because he can be a beautiful footballer to watch, Bruno Fernandes, as we saw with the goal that he scored. He's got great ability, but the constant expression on his face is one of disgust and annoyance that every decision hasn't completely gone his way. But look, let's not focus on that. Let's talk about the good things. I remember Chris Wood saying after the goal he scored against Crystal Palace this season that he hit to the near post and it squirmed under Dean Henderson and into the bottom corner, and he just said, well, look, sometimes you've just got to try, and even if you don't get it exactly as you want, sometimes it'll work. Sometimes these things will go in, and it was good to see Gibbs-White just striking it. Good connection. Yes, it went pretty much into the centre of the goal, but as they say, you don't buy a ticket, you don't win.
Exactly, and that's what he did. Took a pop shot, hit it well enough, on target, keeper's made an error. Forest benefit from it. Take that all day.
Yeah, and right at the start of the second half as well. And I know people always say scoring just before half time is the perfect time, but just to give Forest that lift right at the start of the second half. And I mean, they man directly to my left here who's a Manchester United season ticket holder. I don't think he knows any words other than expletives given the things he was shouting at the pitch during the entire 90 minutes. But right at the start, he wasn't even back in his seat by the time Morgan Gibbs-White had scored that. Right at the start of the second half, what a start.
Well, it puts a dagger into them, because they would have got a rocket at half time, saying, right, come out second half, let's put the pressure on Forest. Morgan Gibbs-White scores a goal. It just silences the crowd. The players are flat, and it's just a perfect way to start the second half for us, especially when they would have expected to come out and blow us away.
They got a third. I mean, we just kept looking at each other. I think when they got a third, and Colin Fray just kind of go, what? They've scored 3 at Manchester United. This is how they got the third. Chris Wood, of course, getting it.
Brought down brilliantly by Anderson. Jota gives it to Gibbs-White again, wide right. He crosses back post for Chris Wood to head it across the face of goal and in. Wood scores. Forest are in front by 3 goals to 1. Chris Wood makes it double figures for the season, and Chris Wood becomes Forest's all-time leading Premier League goal scorer.
It was another goal that I'm sure Ruben Amorim's going to watch back and wonder what his goalkeeper was doing, and also what Martinez was doing, just watching the ball go past him and bounce in off the post. But a really good header, moving away from the ball from Chris Wood, shows how good he is in the air, to then get the power to head it high back across goal, and with such accuracy just in off the post. Yeah,
it was a great header from Woody. Obviously, we know he's got that. He's very good in the air. But like I said, comedy of errors again from United. Keeper, Martinez, De Ligt, all 3 of them between them all could have done better, but Chris Woods hit the target with his header. It's looped in, and we'll benefit from another Manchester United mistake.
And another really good ball into the box as well from Gibbs-White. He was talking to BBC Radio Nottingham after a game recently, I think it was the Ipswich game, asked about Chris Wood, and he just said, I just love playing with him. He said, I know exactly what he's going to do. He's the best striker I've played with. I know exactly what he's going to do. And there you could see it. He was out on the right wing, and that quote from him kind of came into my mind. I thought, you know where Chris Wood's going, because they've played with each other a bit now. So he's gone deep to the back post. Wood knew where it was going to go, and the benefit of those two knowing each other's games really came out. A bit like Gibbs-White and Brennan Johnson were like that when they played together. There's almost telepathy between them, and it feels like that's happening now with Gibbs-White and Wood.
Yeah, when you've got a striker on form like that, and your number 10 who loves to play through balls and loves to get assists, when he got the ball out of his feet, the ball didn't even have to be that good. It just had to be in the air and in Chris Wood's vicinity, because Chris Wood was against that Leno fella. And he's going to beat him in the air all day long, and that's what he did. And when you're on form like Chris Wood is, things go in for you. When you just hit the target, and that is perfect for him, and I'm happy for him buzzing for Gibbs-White as well to get the assist. And them two just are combining so well together.
10 goals Chris Wood's got this season. We're only into December. We're not halfway through the season. That's a phenomenal return, isn't it?
He's on fire, and he's so reliable. He's I don't really want to say it, touch wood. He stays clear of injuries. He has so far this season. But he's got all sorts of goals in his locker. He's got the header, he's got the long range shot they did at Palace, he's got the tap-ins. He takes goals well when he's got time, and he's confident. And there's nothing more for a striker to be than confident if you're scoring goals.
Yeah, I mean, he's never hit 20 goals in a season. I mean, he's perhaps never played really in a side and consistently enough in a top side to be able to get enough opportunities. He's usually been around the 12, 13, 14 goals a season when he was at Burnley, and he got 14 last season for Forest, and he's got 10 already this. You wouldn't bet on him beating that record of 14, would you? I mean, he's on 10 already. He said in the summer, in an interview with us, he said, I want to get 20 goals this season. And you look in his eyes when he said it, and you thought, you believe you can do this. People might have written him off. He wasn't scoring many goals at Newcastle, not playing much, and coming in and maybe doing a different role perhaps than he's doing at Forest. But he's on his way and on course to maybe get that magic 20 goal thing. It's his 33rd birthday today, by the way.
Yeah.
So happy birthday to Chris Wood. Great way to celebrate. But he's kind of on his way to that, isn't he?
Yeah, he's halfway there, and not even, like you said, halfway through the season. He's been magnificent, and when you're scoring goals like that, the confidence just breathes through the squad. I'd love him to get to 20 because, like I said, I've played against him for years, and he's such a nice guy, and you want the good guys to do well, and he's definitely one of them.
He said the other day that he talking about his contract talks, which are ongoing with Forest, but saying, look, he's not looking just to sort of sign a final deal and that be it, and kind of, you know, walk off into the retirement sunset. He says, no, I look at other players and think, if you look after yourself, I can go on and play well into my late 30s. And the fact that he's scoring so many goals now, at the age of 32, turning to 33 in the Premier League, he couldn't he? He could go on for many years.
I didn't know he was that old, to be honest. He's not, like, listen, 33, he's not old, but I thought he was younger than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way he plays, he's not explosive, so I wouldn't have thought he'd have to worry about too many muscle injuries. But he's instinctive, and if the ball's in the box, he'll get on the end of it. So it's not like he's running channels constantly. It's not like a Marcus Rashford who's constantly at full tilt. So I can't see why not him carrying on another. I won't be going in asking for us for a 5-year deal. I don't think you're going to get one.
No. But, you know, it would be good to get that contract signed and sealed, wouldn't it? But he seems to be so happy and just enjoying his football at the moment. Forest are clearly enjoying him, having him around. I can't imagine contract talks being too problematic. Can you?
Not when you scored 10 goals.
No,
I don't think so. I don't think when you scored 10 goals before Christmas, negotiating a contract's not going to be a problem. I don't think Forest will hesitate in giving him one. So I think those negotiations will be pretty easy and straightforward.
He's now scored more Premier League goals than any Forest player before. I'm always a bit kind of not sure about those stats, because it's a Premier League rather than Division 1 as it was kind of pre-1992, and Forest haven't had that many years in the top flight, I suppose. But he's gone ahead of Stan Collymore, but now he's also gone ahead of Brian Roy, and I guess the significant thing maybe you can read into that is just that Forest are making a new mark on the Premier League now. They're not just here as tourists for 1 or 2 years. They are making their own stats now. They're making history for themselves, this team.
Yeah, and like you said, the first couple of seasons it was tough, and it was nerve-wracking. Was going to the last few games of the season, praying that we won to stay up and stuff like that. It's not enjoyable when it gets to that stage of the season. But like you said, now we're making history. We're winning at Liverpool. We're getting a draw at Chelsea. We're winning away at Manchester United. We're 6th or 7th in the league. Fifth in the league.
Fifth in the league.
It's coming up to Christmas. Like 2 years ago, we'd have never have thought this.
No.
Last year, wouldn't have thought this. But there's something that Nuno's done, and the way he's got these players working is credit to them. And like you said, the fans will be absolutely buzzing that we are 5th in the league coming up to Christmas.
More to come from James Perch on BBC Radio Nottingham. Reaction on the way, I promise, from Colin Fray, who's headed down to speak to Nuno and whoever else he can grab while he's down there. So that on the way shortly. But look, Forest have beaten Manchester United away by 3-2, scoring 3 goals here for the first time since 1986, winning here for the first time since 1994. Nuno becoming the first manager to win his first 2 league games against Manchester United as a Forest boss since the 1909-1910 season. The first time ever Forest have beaten Manchester United and Liverpool away in the league in the same season. The stats just keep on coming. So before we get reaction, let's have a listen back to the wonderful highlights. Forest beating Manchester United here at Old Trafford by 3-2.
Elliot Anderson, right-footed, so an out-swinging corner to come. United with everybody back inside the penalty area. In it comes, and header by Milenkovic is in! 90 seconds in, Nikola Milenkovic scores his first Forest goal. Corner from Elliot Anderson. Anderson, and Milenkovic 6 yards out with a bullet header. Fired it past Onana, who never even moved. And Forest, just like they did here last year, have the perfect start. Last year they couldn't find the perfect end. Can they go on from this? Perfect platform. Nikola Milenkovic, his first goal for the club, and Forest, all in sky blue, have made a perfect start on the red side of Manchester. 1-0 to Forest. 17 played at Old Trafford. United move it quickly through Bruno Fernandes to Manuel Ugarte, who then slides it through for Garnacho, and it's well saved by Sells, but the rebound is put in by Rasmus Højlund. Manchester United sliced through Forest with one-touch football. Garnacho was sent through, Sells saved well, but he couldn't keep hold of it, and the parry fell straight to Rasmus Højlund, and Højlund scores his second Premier League goal and his 6th of the season altogether, and gets Manchester United on terms after 18 minutes. Line of Manchester United defenders across the edge of their penalty area. It's gone back post towards Milenkovic. It's headed back across the face of goal and headed off the crossbar. Forest so close to a second goal as it was nodded across towards the back post. Nodded back across the face of goal, and I think it was Jota who got his head to it, and at one stage that looked like it was sailing into the top corner, but the crossbar in the way. Elliot Anderson to take the corner in towards the near post. It goes right the way through to the back post. Jota gives it Murillo, and Murillo's first time shot goes just wide. United fans laughing because the Forest fans thought that was in, and it was only just wide from Murillo. Went all the way to the back post and beyond, and then was retrieved by Jota. Little ball back towards the edge of the 6-yard box, which found Murillo, and it's Bruno Fernandes who takes and goes for the top corner and hits the crossbar, and it's headed away by Ole Einar. United hit the bar now, just like Forest had at the other end. Here's Bruno Fernandes again from the left wing, completely missed kicking as he crosses. I think he kicked the turf, and Einar clears to Yates, and Yates now for Hudson-Odoi, but that's given away by Bruno Fernandes to Hudson-Odoi. He lays it off to his right for Gibbs-White, top of the D. Yes! He scores! Morgan Gibbs-White scores for Forest, and just like they did in the first half, they've scored inside 2 minutes of the second half as well. Morgan Gibbs-White from the top of the D may have deflected because it was very close to Andre Onana, but he couldn't do anything to keep it out. Gibbs-White with the knee slide in front of the Forest fans away to our right hand side, and as Milenkovic did in the first half, Gibbs-White has done from the second. A low skimming shot from the edge of the D after Bruno Fernandes had given the ball away, and it's Manchester United 1, Forest 2. Oh, clever pass by Gibbs-White after Yates found him. It's Einar away down the right hand side, away from Dalot, fires it in low, back post, and touched just wide by Chris Wood. Wood hangs his head slightly. It was really fired at him by Ole Einar. It had to be to get all the way through to the back post. It did reach Chris Wood, 10 yards out, back stick, and his first time touch goes just wide. Brought down brilliantly by Anderson. Jota gives it to Gibbs-White again, wide right. He crosses back post for Chris Wood to head in, across the face of goal and in. Wood scores. Forest are in front by 3 goals to 1. Chris Wood makes it double figures for the season, and Chris Wood becomes Forest's all-time leading Premier League goal scorer. A lovely cross from Morgan Gibbs-White to the back post, and Wood from beyond the back post headed it back across the face of goal and inside the far post, and it's 3-1 to Forest in the 9th minute of the second half. Manchester United 1, Nottingham Forest 3. Wood's 10th of the season, and Wood is the all-time leading goal scorer at this level of football for Forest. 3-1, and then Bruno plays a lovely angled volley to Ahmad. Towards the edge of the penalty area goes Ahmad, and then turns, kind of leaves the ball behind, but stabs it back to Bruno Fernandes, who fires in from the edge of the penalty area. And Manchester United are right back in the game. 61 minutes played. It was brilliant in the first place from Bruno Fernandes. That pinged, angled, crossfield volleyed ball and then Ahmad's pace got him into the penalty area, and then as he checked out, he just stabbed it back towards the top of the penalty area, and Bruno Fernandes ran onto it and curled a beauty beyond Matt Sells. United 2, Forest 3. Rashford fires it towards the back post. Volley, acrobatic from Martinez over the crossbar by a whisker and out for a goal kick. It was acrobatic stuff, it was dramatic stuff, it was hearts in mouth stuff from Forest, and it's just over, and it's a goal kick, and we've played 5 of the 7 stoppage time minutes. Elanga is going to take it to the corner flag. He's up against Dalot, he's fouled by Dalot, and Forest get a free kick, and that's it. The referee blows his whistle, and Forest have beaten Manchester United at Old Trafford for the first time since 1994. It's been nearly 11,000 days since this last happened here at Old Trafford. It's finished Manchester United 2, Forest 3. It's a fabulous away day for the Reds in sky blue in Manchester. They have beaten Manchester United at Old Trafford thanks to goals from Nikola Milenkovic, Morgan Gibbs-White and Chris Wood. And it means, here's a stat for you, for the first time ever, Forest have won away at Liverpool and Manchester United in the same season.
Yes, what a night here at a very wet Old Trafford. 3 big points for Forest, who are up to 5th in the Premier League table. You're listening to BBC Radio Nottingham. David Jackson here. Let's get first reaction from the Forest camp. The man who got it all started for the Reds with that opening goal in 90 seconds. Nikola Milenkovic. Here he is with Colin.
Well, Nikola, well played. That's a very, very big win.
Yes, great win, big win. Everybody knows how it's difficult to play at Old Trafford, and especially win against Manchester United. The most important thing is how we reacted after games what we lost 3 days ago, and in what way we played today at Old Trafford. So I'm so proud of my group, of my team, how we played, and so happy.
What about the second minute of the game? Tell us about that, because that's a special moment for you.
Yeah, a special moment. So happy of my goal, but first of all, so happy of win of the team. This is what is most important, and yeah, so happy.
I mean, it was a fine header. It's the perfect start, really, isn't it, to come here and get yourself 1-0 ahead. I know that Manchester United then came back into the game, didn't they?
Yes, it's a great way to start the game. We did analysis during the week, prepared the set pieces like always, and today was functional. So yeah, it was tough today after 3-2 to defend, but how I told you, I'm so proud of this group, how we defend, how group works, so we need to keep going.
You are, as a team, a very good team at holding on to a lead. When you've got the lead, it's difficult for other teams to come back into matches against you.
Yes, we need to keep way how we're playing, to keep this way, because we need to be compact, we need to be solid, we need to be close each other, and this is most important thing. So also idea what manager want from us during the week, what we prepare in the training, it's so important that we put on the pitch. Today was exactly the days, and we are happy with this win.
Because when Manchester United come back to 3-2 today, there's still half an hour plus added time to go. It's a long way to go, but actually they've not really got close to breaking through you again.
Yes, it was tough defend after 3-2. Manchester is a very good team. They put us under pressure, so it was very, very difficult. But one more thing, I also need to say thank you for all our fans what came today, because with this weather it was difficult, but this win of course is also for them.
It's a special day for them and a special day for you as well.
Of course.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Nikola.
Nikola Milenkovic speaking with Colin Fray on BBC Radio Nottingham. We talked about the fans and how long they stayed inside Old Trafford after the end, but I mean, they were so noisy, as they always are, but they were the only ones making noise today, James Perch, for long periods.
Yeah, they were, and they recognised early on how much of an effort the lads had put in and were putting in at the time. They were singing non-stop, and I think they got a buzz off the fact that the Man U fans were almost moaning and groaning every time the ball went back, so they fed off that negativity from the Man United fans as well. So it's brilliant from them and great from Milenkovic to thank them, because like I said before, they have travelled up in terrible conditions the long way as well, so fair play to all the Forest fans.
Yeah, they don't give a new manager long to turn things round here at Old Trafford, do they? Let's put it that way. As for Nikola Milenkovic, I mean, he's right there. Colin made the point to him. We talked about it a bit before about how short that defence was. It was kind of a couple of efforts from distance towards the end and went one of them miles over the crossbar, but they just shored things up so well at the back and so confidently kept United out at 3-2, which could be a nervy scoreline the way the game's gone.
I think that's the main word, is their confidence, and I think I said it when the scoreboard went up. I said I know it could have come and bit me on the behind, but I was confident that the three centre halves, the goalkeeper, would have kept them at bay, and they did. And to do that away at Old Trafford when you know they're going to throw the kitchen sink at you is credit to them.
Let's hear from the head coach Nuno on BBC Radio Nottingham with Colin Fray.
Well, Nuno, many congratulations. That's a big win today.
Yeah, it's a huge moment for all of us at the club. So many years. Now it's a moment to celebrate.
What did your team do so well today?
A lot of things, but many things not so well also. I think we start the game very well. First action of the game we score makes a big difference. The reaction overnight was good. I think it took us too much time to realize that the game has changed. So they start putting players higher in the pitch, behind our midfield. That causes problems in the pocket. We didn't close the through passes, created problems to us. We didn't have too much in the first half, but the second half, very good. The way we started, we recovered the ball high. We were lucky that we scored in those moments, and then it's about controlling the game. The growing process of the team today was evident. The way we control the tempo of the game, the possession. Only thing that was missing after we go with Morata once again was the threat. We didn't threat too much, and that is something that we have to work on.
But at that other end, United go 3-2, there's half an hour left, plus added time, so there's virtually another half of football left. Never really got close. You kept them right at arm's length for all of that time.
Yeah, but the other part of the game, so you have the unity, the gaps were closed, the players were brave to not give too much time to United, but that's one part. The other part is that, okay, we are defending, but we have to threat. Don't ignore that part of the game, because if not, like United did, they start putting the centre halves on our pitch. We nail down. We don't have spaces. Anything can happen. One set piece, one bounce. So that's something that we have to address and try to make it right.
It's a perfect start, to both halves really, but the start to that second half, you were playing some lovely football and got your rewards as well.
Yeah, and that's what I'm very proud, because it's been a good and long hard work, and the road, if you say the road that we are trying to do together, it becomes to show, the players that come in understandly the task that they have to do, the impact to close down the game. It's important. And in the second half, be brave. Let's be brave. And the boys were good. I think I have to look back, but there were very good moments. I think we had chances, including 1-3, 2 or 3 good moments to really in the box be composed and make the final pass. And that is what we want to achieve, to try and improve and be better in every moment. But today is happy days, Colin. Today we should be happy. I'm thinking already and trying to make the right answers, but very proud of the boys. Very, very proud of this group of players. Well done, boys. Well done.
It's a special day today for Forest, for your players. The first time in 30 years that they've won here. Here's a stat for you as well. It's the first time ever Forest have won at Liverpool and at Manchester United in the same season. You have to be a pretty good side to do that.
We have to be better. We have to be better side. This is what we are achieving, and I'm sharing this with you with all the honesty. Every day we should improve on. because the talent is there. We still make mistakes that we should not have done. Today was a good game, but maybe we are complaining ourselves if we allow the draw. 1-3, 2-3, the mindset should be 2-4, you know what I mean? To have this comfort, because anything can happen in the last minutes. One set piece, one corner, like I said to you before, and you go away after such a hard work. So I go back now, let's enjoy ourselves, but we have to improve.
And a special day for the fans as well, and for the players at the end with those fans.
It was great. Today is good. At City we didn't have this moment, so this is what makes our is the pleasure, isn't it, to walk down the grass and see. It's amazing. We cannot thank them enough. Thank you.
Well done, Nuno.
Cheers, Carl.
Nuno Espirito Santo speaking with Colin Fray on BBC Radio Nottingham. He is very similar in tone there to how he was after the Manchester City defeat just a few days ago. He's consistent and he's a calm influence, isn't he, James Perch?
Yeah, and it's brilliant to see, brilliant to listen to his interviews afterwards. He just stinks of a manager who's been there before and done it, and like he did it with Wolves. Obviously finished really high up in the league with Wolves, so he's seen it all before. He's not fazed by anything. He's not fazed by a win away at Old Trafford. Similar to, he's not fazed by a loss at Man City. So he takes the positives out of it, and it's just good to see a manager so assured of himself and assured of his group of players that he's working with. He knows he's got a good group here, so win, lose or draw, he knows his team can always improve, and he knows his team is always going to do well for him.
Colin mentioned to Nuno there that stat that we've mentioned, first time ever there been Manchester United and Liverpool away in the same season. I saw somebody comment on social media this week. They said after the City game, he said I'm beginning to think that Liverpool away win was a one-off. And I was thinking, well, yeah, you don't get these results all the time. Forest have this season. So what can we read into that as to what Forest are this season in terms of their threat to the top end of the Premier League table?
Look, Forest are a good side. Forest are a team now where teams will be looking and thinking, we can't take these lightly. They've gone away to Liverpool, won. Went away to Chelsea, maybe should have won. Gone away to United, won. It's like, this isn't a fluke. This is a good side who are drilled well, coach well, and implement it well on the field. So teams will be looking at taking note from this as well. This is a good statement to send out to the rest of the league that Forest aren't here to mess about anymore. They're here to stay and here to play well and here to pick up 3 points whenever they can. And while they play like that, I fancy them to give most teams a game in this league.
Colin Fray is back up in the press position, the commentary position after speaking to Nuno. I wonder what you read into this now, Colin. After a couple of away defeats of late, they've now come to Manchester United and proved that it wasn't just a little spell at the start of the season. They've done it again here. They've won 3-2. What do you read into it?
Yeah, I think they've re-established a few credentials for those who might be beginning to doubt. Not saying they were necessarily within Nottingham or amongst the Forest fan base, but for those nationally looking on who were just thinking maybe it was just a flash in the pan first 10 games. But I think what they've done here is they've sort of really re-established their credentials. They've got themselves back into the top 6. They're up into 5th. Obviously there was that little bunch of teams, and that it could have been, if it had gone the other way, that Forest might have ended up this weekend 11th, 12th or something like that. That's now not going to happen because they've come here against some very, very good players. Yes, a Manchester United side that's not really firing on all cylinders just at the moment, but still very, very difficult to beat here. It's only the third time they've lost this season. I think Spurs, Liverpool and now Forest have come here and won, and that's in 13 games that they've played here, including European competition. So they might not be at their best, but they're still a very, very good side full of very good players, and Forest have come here and have really laid that another marker down. They had those markers at the start of the season and people were looking at it and then thinking, well, okay, couple of big tests at the likes of Arsenal, Manchester City, Forest not really got close to those two, so maybe they will, disappear into sort of mid-table, lower mid-table, something like that. And now here they are, back into 5th, having re-established themselves a little bit this weekend.
Colin Fray and James Perch, thank you very much for both being with us on Match Day from BBC Radio Nottingham today. Forest here at Old Trafford have, they've conceded 2, but they've gone and scored 3.
Elliot Anderson. Right-footed, so an out-swinging corner to come. United with everybody back inside the penalty area. In it comes, and header by Milenkovic is in! 90 seconds in! Nikola Milenkovic scores his first Forest goal. Corner from Elliot Anderson, and Milenkovic 6 yards out with a bullet header. But that's given away by Bruno Fernandes to Hudson-Odoi. He lays it off to his right for Gibbs-White, top of the D. Yes. He scores! Morgan Gibbs-White scores for Forest, and just like they did in the first half, they've scored inside 2 minutes of the second half as well. Brought down brilliantly by Anderson. Jota gives it to Gibbs-White again, wide right. He crosses back post for Chris Wood to head it across the face of goal and in. Wood scores. Forest are in front by 3 goals to 1. Chris Wood makes it double figures for the season, and Chris Wood becomes Forest's all-time leading Premier League goal scorer.
Yep, we have been breaking records today here. Nottingham Forest at Old Trafford. The first time ever they've beaten Liverpool and Manchester United away in the same season. First time they've scored 3 here since a couple from Colin Walsh and one from Nigel Clough in 1986. The first time they've won here since goals from Stan Collymore and Stuart Pearce in 1994. All of which put Forest back up to 5th in the Premier League table. Fantastic result for them. Earlier today, no Notts County, their game called off because of the weather. Mansfield Town did get the game on against Huddersfield, but they were beaten at home by Huddersfield by 2 goals to 1. Look out in the week coming up for the Shut Up and Show More Football podcast, all about Nottingham Forest. I'll be speaking to journalist and big Forest fan Daniel Storey next week, so look out for that on BBC Sounds and the Sport every night 6 till 7. Up next tonight, BBC Introducing with Dean Jackson.